You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Get a good slurp on. I don't know if you wanted to show that on the big screen over there.
Hey, folks. Happy Thursday. Beans and Dice podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And we are a podcast about
How we game.
And there's Rob on screen.
Oh,
there we go.
I'm over there just talking. I'm
I can fix it.
the disembodied voice over there. Yeah.
It's Thursday night. We are back to some gaming tonight. We got some games on the table. We want to talk about some games that we've bought. And then we also want to get into the Board Game Geek Golden Geek
Awards. Golden Geek Awards. Yeah,
Awards.
they were just announced, I think, yesterday, maybe. Brand new.
But most importantly, I have my phone, which means that we will open up phone lines in just a moment.
Call-in show, folks. Make it happen.
Yes.
Do
and
it.
Take your phone calls to talk about what you got going on gaming-wise.
Take over the show. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, who knows?
The only board game show on the internet.
Board game show.
Board game show on the internet where you take over.
Absolutely. And so just as we will have our ramblings, we'll have some things to talk about. Carlos got his first play of Kenfire Delve. Well, I say his first play. We're in the middle of his first play of Kenfire Delve. Me and my daughter Emmy have played a handful of times. I think we played 5. Actually, I know we've played 5. And so I will talk a little bit about our experience. But spoiler alert, I think I might be buying the other 2 in the series because it's a 3-game series. But whatever, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, it's so far I have had nothing but good feels while getting this game on the table. Looking forward to talking more about it.
Cool. But otherwise, you can interrupt us at any point. You can talk about what we're talking about. You can come up with your own topic, take over the show. Doesn't necessarily have to be board game related. We talk about, as you have watched before, know. We get off on our side tangents. Anything that's geeky goodness, TV shows, movies, whatever's going on.
Oh,
in the world.
yes.
Yeah.
Other geeky goodness will
yeah.
be a fun conversation.
Oh, you got some stuff for it. All right.
You got some stuff, too. We all got I hope we all have
sure.
some
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. We've got stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
That's how kind of goes. There we go. Computer's back.
Okay.
My man Jodak
Got a black
in the
screen.
chat already commenting. Chad Stilson in the chat already
Hey, Chad.
commenting.
How you doing?
You can always post your questions in the chat. You can always email us at beansanddice@gmail.com if you have questions or comments that you would like to chat about but don't want to post in the chat in the show. You can always call, leave in a voicemail, and we will answer. We will play that voicemail on the show and answer it for you live on the show. There's so many ways to connect, but the biggest one is you call in.
Call in. It's a call-in show. That's what we do here.
For that reason, we will go ahead and open up the phone lines, 813-618-7099. We'll have the phone lines open because we have no main topic today.
Yeah.
The phones will be the show today, and then whatever stuff that we talk about, hopefully get the pump primed up and get y'all chatting.
Yeah, absolutely. If not, we'll just we'll play our game because we're, like I said, in the middle of a game. So
I also have no problems doing just that.
Just play our game, let people watch. So yeah, hopefully it won't come to that. Well, we got a few things to talk about, and again, we want you to call and take over the show. That's the purpose. That's what differentiates us. We haven't found, I don't think anybody else who has a board game call-in show. A few people have done something along the fringes, but as we've heard, a lot of people are afraid of what might happen. Especially the big boys, Tom and them have mentioned. Tom Vassal, I think, said he was a bit afraid of what he would get if he just opened up to a live call-in show. So
I say, don't be afraid, just embrace it.
yeah, we've got onto that limb. We're
Embrace
giving
the
it a shot.
chaos.
But anyway, but his crowd's a little different than our crowd anyway.
Let's see if we can't find the Golden
Geek Awards.
Announcements.
I just
There
told.
we go.
There it is. I told Carlos about 30 seconds before we started the show, so he's going to pull this up. I saw it on the Dice Tower today. They were talking about it on there in the news segment, and so I've seen who wins all these, so I can't guess and predict. But let's see. I guess see the way it's laid out. See if maybe.
Spoilers, by the way, we're going to go through it. So if you haven't...
Oh, yeah. If you care, we're going to run through the list. So.
We'll run through the list because I'm going to see it for the first time. I know I voted. Robert, did you vote?
I did not. Again, I believe you have to have what they call the Geek Gold to vote. So I went on and I was going to vote, and then I saw that. And I was like, I don't have any to throw around. So I could have bought some, I guess. But
I could have sent you some.
yeah, sorry. Well,
right off the bat, there's an ad at the top for grip mats. I have to say I am a grip mat fan. I have bought grip mats.
have you? I've never had them.
Yes.
All right.
The mat is a very good, solid mat.
Grippy.
Good company.
Yeah.
They have 2 different versions of the mats. It's like a slidey top, like what you would
slicky,
normally get
yeah.
slick. And then they have the grippy mat. I bought my mat for Ready Set Bet through Grip Mats. It's a good, nice to see them getting ads in BGG.
Nice.
I want that octagonal Lords of Waterdeep mat that they have.
Oh, okay.
They take the whole board and the expansions and put it on an octagon neoprene mat. I'm excited about that.
I haven't seen that one.
Side tangent there. Let's see. Golden Geek Awards. There's a video. I don't want to watch a video. I want an article.
It's got to be spelled out somewhere, right? Oh, no way.
Let's back this up here and see if we can't find...
maybe there's a list. There's got to be a list somewhere, right? Yeah.
Folks at home, help us out.
Yeah, if somebody's seen it on the thing, like I say, I saw it on the Dice Tower. They're in the news segment today. They ran through them, but they just had stills from the video, probably.
How do we find them? I don't want to watch the video.
Yeah. If not, I'll watch the video here in the corner, and then I'll yell them out.
I guess we'll just play the video.
Yeah, play the video.
That seems to be what they want.
Yeah. Getting some extra pub.
Hey everyone, Candace here, and it is Golden Geek time.
Golden Geek Awards. Let's go. Best 2-player game.
Best 2-player game.
We'll jump over to the best 2-player game.
Oh, they've got people announcing the nominees. Cool. All right. Agent Avenue.
These are the nominees. Okay, so the nominees are...
more 2-player games recently because of our show, Game Night Date Night.
See if I can get this audio.
We definitely have an increased
Rob.
interest in the category.
And here are the nominees for the
Hopefully that's coming through on the
2024
video.
Golden Geek Award for Best 2-Player Game.
Agent Avenue, Compile, Main 1, Dune, War for Arrakis, Flatiron, A Jest of Robin Hood, Ironwood, Kelp, Shark vs. Octopus, King of Tokyo Duel, The Lord of the Rings, Duel for
That's
Middle
my
Earth,
game right there.
and Star Wars Unlimited.
And the winner is...
And the winner goes to Lord of the Rings, Duel for
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
That's where I voted.
Congratulations to designers Antoine Bauza and Bruno Catala and publisher Repo Production.
Probably not too big of a surprise there.
No, that's my game right there,
Yeah.
man. That was my choice for 2-player game. Super excited to see that. I just got it played again not too long ago. It is a solid game, and I love the artwork.
I'm going to assume that was an easy win. That was probably a landslide for that one. But the Golden Geek, for those of you who don't know, is voted on by the people who are on BGG, Board Game Geek website. So I think you have to have a login, and like I say, some Geek Gold, which I believe you can buy, or you can get awarded Geek Gold for doing different things, posting reviews, posting videos on their site. So that's how you get in. That's how you do these votes. So
Best cooperative game. Let's see what they say.
Wilmot's Warehouse.
All right, let's see.
And the winner of the 2024
Skipping the
Golden Geek
nominations.
Award for Best Cooperative Game goes to The Fellowship of the Ring.
That's the one I voted for. Look at that.
Congratulations to
I'm 2
designer
for 2
Brian
now.
big day for
Bormuller
Lord of the Rings.
and publisher Office Dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big Lord of the Rings year.
Yeah.
Best print and play. I had nothing to vote on for that. I did not print or
Didn't
play
care on
anything.
that one. Yeah. Let's see who got it anyway.
Let's take a peek.
24 Golden Geek Award in the print and play category is 52 Realms Adventures.
I bought that.
Congratulations.
Did you really?
to
I
the
did
designers.
buy 52 Realms. I should have voted
This
for
is
that.
supposedly a dungeon delve.
Yes.
With
Poker cards.
yeah,
Just
with
a deck of
cards.
poker cards.
Yeah, deck of cards. Yeah.
Okay. I actually printed out a copy and had it at the table for a couple of the episodes. I tried to get it to I tried to table it, but I struggle with learning the rules sometimes on these print and plays. The rules aren't as
Yeah.
easily written.
Okay.
But that's a nice one.
I'd like to see it. They were talking a little bit about it. It sounds interesting.
I need to find my printed version. I will find it.
We'll
for us,
find it
Rob.
later. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, so that was
You did know
best
one.
printed. I did know one. Best print and play. Let's see. Best party games. We might get the
Geek
nominations
Award
here.
in the category for Best Party Game nominees are Caution Signs,
Never heard of it.
Courtesans, Flip 7, The Gang,
I think I know where you voted on this one.
Gesterdis, Hitster Bingo, Landmarks, Link City, Things and Rings, Wilmot's Warehouse, and the
All right. Chad Stilson in the chat says we should pause the video and guess.
Make your guess.
Make a
Yeah, like I
guess.
say, I already watched, so I already know. So.
Okay. Well,
I
I
won't.
voted Flip 7. I'm guessing Flip 7. There's no way that Flip 7 doesn't win party game of the year. And if it is, like, I'm
Yeah.
flipping tables.
Yeah, you just quit. Yeah, that's it. All right.
And the industry's broken at that point.
Okay.
Like the
All
big gaming has taken over, and it's all about the money.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chat also says we can talk about how ridiculous the Dice Tower's top 10 was today.
Wedding games.
Top wedding.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the video. I saw it and I was like, nope, skip that one.
I'm not the only. Am I the only one that's brought a game to a wedding?
Yes, I don't think I've ever brought a game to a wedding. So if
Nobody else shows up with a game in their pocket.
No,
for a
that's
wedding?
not normal.
That's not normal.
No.
What about funerals? Anyone out there brought a game to a funeral?
Can lighten up a funeral.
I'm gonna say it right now, folks, for all the folks at home. When I die, because it is, we are all dying. It will all happen. When I die, there better be games played at my funeral.
Okay.
Period.
I'll make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
And that's. I want my family and my friends to have fun and to think of me. I want my ashes in the sand timers.
All right.
For well, not for Pendulum, because no one will ever play with me again.
They have that company that'll do that now. They'll put is it your pets or whatever. They'll put them in the sand timer. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you put me in the sand timer for Pendulum, y'all will never play with me again.
Oh no, but not
ever.
Pendulum. Oh, I get you. Yeah, not Pendulum. No.
Nobody will play Pendulum.
I haven't played it ever, but I don't really want to. So
Golden Geek Award goes to Flip 7.
There you go.
Congratulations to designer Eric Olson and publisher The Op Games.
Enough talk about games. Let's talk now about more games.
Okay.
Specifically,
Best
the nominees
expansion.
for the 2024 Golden Geek Award in the category of expansion. The nominees are Arcs, the Blighted Reach expansion, Expeditions, Gears of Corruption, Forest Shuffle, Alpine, Forest Shuffle, Woodland Edge.
That's not fair.
Gaia Project,
Double up.
The Lost Fleet, Heat, Heavy Rain, Obsession, Characters Expansion,
Oh, that community is strong.
Sky Team, Turbulence,
I have 3 of these expansions.
Terraforming Mars, Prelude 2, The White Castle, Matcha. And the winner,
Pause.
This is tough.
Take a guess.
I have 3 of these expansions that I've purchased. If I had to guess, I'm gonna go with. Don't ever underestimate the power of Days of Wonder.
You got what? Turbulence. You got-
Heat, Pedal to the
Heat.
Metal. I'm trying to remember what the third one was.
I don't remember either.
Heat, Pedals. Don't underestimate the power of Days of Wonder.
You think?
I'm going with Heat.
Okay.
I think it's got a broad appeal. I think the cooperative only of Sky Teams, even though it's a good game, only 2 players, kind of limits its appeal. I'm going with Heat.
Drum roll.
the 2024 Golden Geek Award in the category of expansion is Arcs, the Blighted Reach expansion.
I was wrong.
Congratulations to designer Cole Worley and publisher Leader Games.
All right, pause real quick.
I know. I'm a social
how do I
butterfly
pause,
extrovert.
Robert?
Maybe
There's a
space
button
bar.
right here.
Occasionally?
I'll push this button.
Push the button.
Oh,
There
that
you go.
button
It
works.
worked. All right.
There's a button.
I just got to mention in the chat, Jim said, because we were talking about bringing things to weddings and funerals. So there was a swim test for the Boy Scouts yesterday. And me and Emmy went, took my youngest son, Ian, and I brought Quicks. And so Jim had to do his swim test as one of the leaders. So he got out of the pool. I was like, hey, if you got time, here's Quicks. So we didn't actually bring it out and play it, but I did bring Quicks, not Twix, Quicks. To the pool.
Should have brought like Palm Island. You could have got in the pool with him.
We've done that
and played
yeah.
Palm
We've
Island.
done that in the hot tub. Yeah. Anyway,
We've
go
done
ahead.
a lot of stuff in the hot tub.
I need me time. And when
Solitaire
I do,
games.
I find it so relaxing to sit down at the table and take my time playing a board game by myself. That's why I love the explosion of solo board games and the fact that so many games these days, multiplayer games, have solo mode.
Jumping ahead.
Nominees for the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Best Solo Game: The Seventh Citadel, Civolution,
Ooh.
Conservus, Forage, a 9-card solitaire game, Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs, I, Napoleon, Imperium Horizons, Kingdom Legacy, Feudal Kingdom, Rome, Fate of an Empire, and Slay the Spire, the board game. And the Golden Geek goes...
You guess?
Okay. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one because Civolution had a lot of good reviews for Solitaire. Bugs and Buttons.
Button and bugs?
Button and Bugs. It's Cephalofair Games. There's a lot of love. Now, I haven't heard a lot about Button and Bugs outside of its initial release, like when they first
Yeah.
announced it,
It faded pretty quick.
didn't it? Horizons, Tursky makes an amazing amazing solo system. Geez, I'm gonna go with Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire because of the solo aspect. I've heard a lot of good things and ease of play. Let's see what the answer is.
To Slay
There
the
you
Spire,
go.
the board
Nailed it.
game. Congratulations to
Achievement to me.
designers
There you go.
Gary Dworsky, Anthony Giovanetti, and Cassiano, and publisher Contention Games.
Very nice.
Next is the winner of the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Best Thematic Game.
Best
Who
theme.
doesn't love a great game theme?
No kidding, I'm a huge theme fan. And the nominees for the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Best Thematic Game are
The Seventh Citadel, Arcs, Dune, War for Arrakis,
We can stop right there,
Yeah.
Endeavor, Deep Sea, The Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game,
or maybe not.
Let's Go to Japan, The Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle-earth,
Oh man.
Rock Hard 1977, SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and Unconscious Mind.
the Golden
All right, folks. All right, here we go. I'm gonna bet on Dune.
Okay.
Dune War for Arrakis. Although I love the theme in Fellowship of the Ring, and I love the theme in Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle Earth. Those would be my 2 and 3 in this list. Those games can be theme agnostic.
That's
As much as, and you played a little bit of the Fellowship of the Ring Trick Taker.
Yep.
They did a great job of infusing theme there,
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
but it still can be very abstract. Whereas the Dune, it's all about being on planet Arrakis. Like you're there.
One interesting thing on the Dice Tower, they showed the top 3 finishers in each one. Dune was not in the top 3.
Wow. Spoilers.
Geek goes to SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial
What?
Intelligence. Congratulations
so
to designer Tomasz Holek
I-
and publisher Czech Games Edition.
Tom and them agreed
In
with this
reality-
one. But
Really,
they
SETI?
thought the Lord of the Rings ones, the not the Trick Taker, but the other Lord of the Rings,
The Duel for Middle Earth.
Duel for Middle Earth was number 2, and Tom was blown away by that. He was like, there is no theme in that game. He goes, other than maybe them chasing down the path, but the whole rest of that game is just you can put anything on that. So yeah, he couldn't believe that was number 2.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised to hear SETI won.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would win because the theme is so science focused,
Yeah. Mhm.
and science isn't everybody's thing.
No,
Like-
but it is a good theme. Come
It
on,
is a great theme. I
Searching
love
the
it.
stars, searching the universe for alien life. And
That's the reason I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and I was super glad that my wife wanted to buy that
yeah,
game.
that's cool.
But it's totally outside of what I would have thought her theme
Range.
bucket
Yeah.
would have been,
Yeah,
right?
Sure, yeah.
But she's like, she saw things in there. She's like, I want to try that.
Yep.
So for that reason, instead of just trying it, I was like, well, why don't we just buy it?
Reality, I'm a pretty chill, laid back, and peaceful person. Some might even call me friendly. I need player interaction.
All right, we're gonna go to best
and
war game here.
conflict. Yes. Here are the nominees.
I think this last year she actually went to a wargaming con.
Oh, did she?
A historical con. She did a video on here
All right.
about her experience at a wargaming con, which was really cool to watch. She played a lot of the old games that I like, Command Conquer styles games. So-
For the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Best War Game.
Remember, this is BGG people voting on it, so
Burning Banners,
not war gamers.
Dune War for Arrakis, A Jest of Robin Hood, I Napoleon, Rebel Fury, Red Dust Rebellion, Tanto Manta, The Rise of Ferdinand and Isabella, 1470 to 1516, Undaunted
There's a name.
2200 Callisto, and Vijayanagara, The Deccan Empires of Medieval India, 1290 to 1398.
There's another one.
And the Golden Geek
You gotta admit, it's hilarious.
So, yeah, about reading some of those titles. Yeah.
I think they threw those games in just to kind of like confirm their war game cred, right? But you just reminded me, there's a meta game in this.
Yes.
It's almost like green versus orange, right? Orange versus green team wins.
Green team wins. Is that what you're going? I was thinking green team wins, but like that doesn't sound anything like what you just said.
It's almost like green team wins. It's not about
Yeah.
what the right answer is.
Being the
It's
majority.
about what the majority believes.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm gonna have to go Arcs just because of the community that's voting. I don't think the community is voting would vote for, Alejandra
Gorda or whatever that last one was.
1914 to
1282. Yeah.
I'm going Arcs.
Probably a good
It
choice.
goes to Arcs.
Yeah.
Congratulations
You let me
to
down again,
designer Cole
BGG.
Worley and publisher Leader Games.
It's not a war game, BGG.
Now that we celebrated games
Yeah.
that feature the struggles of warfare and conflict, it's time to celebrate community and the overall of bringing together of hobbyists and gamers and fans from all across the globe. Here are the nominees for the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Best Podcast: Beyond Solitaire, Blue Pig, Pink Pig,
Solid.
Board Game Barbecue,
Oh, that one.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Board Game Hot Takes,
There's your winner right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Decision Space,
Don't know that one.
5 Games for Doomsday,
Heard of it.
Game Brain,
Heard of it? Haven't
Space
listened to it.
Biff.
I just
Space
listened to one last
Cast.
night.
Did you really? I don't know
I
that
actually
one.
listened to him to fall asleep at night.
Is he good?
He gets very.
Oh,
the guy is
monotone?
deep. He's like a PhD type dude.
Oh, yeah.
His stuff gets deep.
Okay.
I use it to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's good.
Sporadically Bored,
I heard of that.
Talk Cardboard,
Don't know that one.
and the Golden Geek Award.
Board Game Hot Takes is my decision for this one. While I don't always agree with those guys, they have great banter. They keep it mostly board game focused, which is kind of
haven't listened to
outside
them.
of my norm.
I need
I
to
like
listen to 'em.
listening to like just random,
Have fringe stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
just like about their lives and stuff. These guys keep it mostly board game, but they have great conversation
Mr.
about it.
G's like sporadically bored. So, yeah, I haven't listened to that one.
Let's see.
Award goes to Beyond Solitaire.
Oh, and that's the contributor. What's her name from Dice Tower? She does the historical games mostly.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about, but
You know what I'm talking
haven't,
about.
yeah, I haven't seen.
I watch her stuff.
Yes, I do recognize the panda now.
Yeah,
or the
raccoon.
the
Actually, no, is that
it's,
a red
It's
panda?
the red panda.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
the
a red
panda.
panda.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I just saw one in the Birmingham Zoo.
Oh, did you?
They have
Cool.
red pandas.
Up in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Alabama.
But she does great historical and solitaire game reviews, and she definitely has a historical bent. She's an educator
Oh, good.
by trade.
Cool.
Congratulations to Liz Davidson.
There you go, Liz Davidson.
And the
Yep.
nominees for the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Best Board Game App are Clank, Codenames App, Dune Imperium, Mountain Goats, Mythic Mischief, Point Salad Combined Recipe, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Quilt and Cats of Calico, Stone Age Digital Edition, and Summoner Wars Online.
I'm going with Dune.
Yeah.
That is a great implementation. I don't know if they've added the DLCs for the expansions yet for like Ix and stuff. I think they have, but I have the base set, and that is a great way for me to get my Dune fix.
Yeah. Nice.
I didn't know they had Mountain Goats as a separate app
I didn't either. I
because they
haven't
have
seen
it on BGA. So
Yeah,
Wifey and
Fucking
I will
Arena.
play on BGA. So I'm not sure what that separate app
Wouldn't think there'd be much to it. It's a pretty simple game.
it is. I like Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm going Dune.
Yeah.
And the Golden Geek goes to Dune Imperium.
Yeah.
Congratulations to
Nailed
Paul
it.
Denning and publisher Direwolf.
It's no surprise that I get to talk about the nominees for the 2024 Golden Geek Award in the category Light Game of the Year. It's great to see that by playing a game multiple times and
Light
really
game
getting a feel for it.
As voted by BGG users.
With that out of the way, the nominees
3.0.
in the category
Yeah, you
Light
need that,
Game of
you
the
need that
Year
caveat,
for 2024
especially when they get to middleweight.
are Bomb Busters, Captain Flip,
That's my game.
Castle Combo, Cities, Fishing, Flip 7,
Oh.
The Gang, Lem Space Agency, Rebirth, River Valley Glassworks.
They put Rebirth on light game?
And the winner of the 2024
I'm going
Golden
Captain
Geek
Flip.
Award
You're
in
gonna
the
be very
category
disappointed.
Late Game of the Year is Castle Combo.
Oh, my arch nemesis comes back.
Very disappointed. Castle Combo. As soon as I saw that today, I was like, oh, Carlos is going to love that one.
It's so much heavier than like
Z was so excited when he saw that result. He's like,
Really?
I've been championing this game.
I don't I got to try it in person. It might be the BGG implementation, being able to see my quadrant
No.
on BGG.
I haven't played it in person, but yeah.
I'm not willing to buy it.
No, yeah.
I bought Captain Flip.
Maybe I'll buy it then just to get it out of the way.
Golden Geek Award should have realized that. I bought Captain Flip, but I didn't buy I didn't buy
Castle Combo.
Castle Combo.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to designers Gregory Garrard and Matthew Roussel and publisher Catch Up Games.
Were those 50 copies?
Now
of
we come
Flip
to the
7?
2024
Yes.
Golden Geek Award for Best Medium Game of the Year.
Medium.
For us, this is the category we play the most games from each year.
Absolutely. Here are the nominees
Got a few
for the
eyebrow
2024
raises
Golden
from
Geek
the
Award for
Dice Tower
Best Medium
group.
Game of the Year.
Endeavor, Deep Sea,
They thought that was
The
a little heavy.
Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game, Fromage, Harmonies, Let's Go to Japan, The Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, River of Gold, Slay the Spire, the board game, Windmill Valley, and Wormspan.
And the Golden Geek goes to
Middle of the road, right? Here's the problem is I would have put like Let's Go to Japan in the lighter category. I would have put Lord of the Rings Duel in the lighter category. Even Fellowship of the Ring in the lighter category. Oh, this is a tough one, Rob. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so what do I want to win?
Don't think you're going to hit this one, but
Out of this list, what do I want to win? I would say Endeavor would be probably my middle of the road game because I feel like Fellowship of the Ring and Lord of the Rings Duel are too light to be called middle of the road.
I wouldn't necessarily disagree.
But I think the BGG group went with Fromage. There's something about that damn cheese game that they just can't stop talking
It was
about.
top 3.
Was it top 3?
Yeah.
All right. I think Fromage is the winner, but I personally would want Endeavor. And the answer is
Harmonies.
Endeavor was top 3 as well, but Harmonies was number 1.
middle of the road game.
Yeah.
Mid.
Congratulations to designer Johan Benvenuto and publisher Libelou.
I was
The
wrong.
nominations for the 2024 Golden Geek Award for Heavy Game of the Year are Andromeda's Edge, Arcs, Black Forest, Civolution, Ezra and Nehemiah, Inventions, Evolution of Ideas, Inventors of South Tigris, Menifer,
Oh.
SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, Unconscious Mind.
All right. So for me in this game, in this role, I think Arcs will win it because it's Arcs. Like it just something with BGG and Arcs. I don't get it. Just bet on Arcs. But if I had to pick one, of course, it would be Ezra and Nehemiah. That is one of my top games that I've played in the last couple of years. When I talk about heavy Euros, like heavy Euro wise, it is the heavy Euro I can think of. SETI, I really enjoyed, but I didn't find it as heavy. If we talked about heavy gaming, right? This is heavy game.
It's heavy. Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah.
If I'm going heavy, I'm going Ezra and Nehemiah. But because of this community, I think they went Arcs.
Arcs was top 3.
Let's find out.
And the Golden Geek goes to SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
I was completely wrong.
Congratulations to designers Tomas
was Unconscious Mind,
and
Arcs, and
publisher
SETI.
Czech Games Edition.
I don't think
Once
Ezra
again,
and Nehemiah has gotten enough proliferation into the market yet.
I think the problem is that it's because of that whole big family of those, was it Garphill games? That there, so many of them are, I won't say similar because they're very different. But I think people are just like, oh, that's just another Garphill. It's that because the art's kind of the same, symbology's the same. And I think they kind of are getting lumped together, and they're hurting each other's popularity a little bit. That's a weird take on that, maybe. But I think so. I mean, I think they're all good games. Actually, I just bought, it was going to be one of the things I think I mentioned last show. I just bought the whole South Tigris series and the West Kingdom series from Devin in our game group. And so I've got those sitting stacked up on my table. I got to find spots for them on the Cowlicks. But I've got plenty of room. I just got to rearrange a little bit. But so I think that those kind of all get lumped together because they all kind of look a little similar. They all play somewhat similar, even though they're all pretty different. But I think that probably hurts Ezra Nehemiah and a lot of those other ones. So,
would we say now that Garfield Games is like the Taco Bell of board gaming companies?
okay, let me see where you go with this.
All right, let's see where I go with this. Help me out here in the crowd. The Taco Bell of board game companies means there's a lot of different things on the menu. But at the end of the day, everything on the menu are the same, like 7 ingredients, just done in different proportions.
In a different shell.
Or right. So this is like a soft shell. This is a hard shell. This one has the cheese. This one doesn't have the cheese. This one's got the tomatoes. right?
Love me some Taco Bell.
Hey, listen, you never hear any hate from my mouth.
No. Yeah, I know you like your
And
Taco
every
Bell.
item on Taco Bell is amazing to me. But at the end of the day, they're all the same, like 10 ingredients.
Yeah,
just
pretty
done in
much.
different ways.
Okay.
So like Garfield takes these 10 different mechanisms or styles and just changes them around in each of their games, which does hurt. My understanding is, roll with me here,
All right.
Ezra and Nehemiah is almost like a greatest hits. Now, I haven't played all of them,
Heard you say that
but
before.
people that have played all of them have said that Ezra and Nehemiah is almost like a greatest hits album. It takes some of the best mechanisms from across the range of games and puts it into that one game.
Yep.
So what Taco Bell item would be the best item at Taco Bell?
Ooh.
For me, it's going to be the Nacho Bel Grande.
Oh, that's a
that's
good
like
one.
my go-to. Like when I'm not sure what to eat, I can always count on Nacho Bel Grande. It's got a little bit of everything I want.
I like the double layer, the cheesy gordita
Crunch?
where they crunch, where they mix a couple different shells. They put a cheese layer in there, and then all your protein in the middle. Oh, I like that one. That one's tough to beat.
All right,
for me.
so
Yeah.
Beans and Dice is saying that Ezra and Nehemiah is the cheesy gordita,
Gordita
crunch of Taco Bell.
All right.
That's an official.
Or the Bel Grande. I mean, I'm good with Bel Grande too. I get that. I throw that in once every 4 or 5 orders. So yeah.
Hey, listen, Shem, if you're watching right now, that's what you need to put on the back of your box for selling Ezra and Nehemiah. And maybe next year you might win a Best Board Game Award. Right? It is the cheesy gordita crunch of
board
the
games?
Garfield games.
Oh, yeah, the Garfield games. Yep.
Just saying.
Oh, I don't know. Is that the end of the list there?
That was all of it.
Yeah.
That was everything.
I know we got a couple comments there, especially here at the end about some of our observations, but yeah.
Let's see. James Odock says Dune. He was talking about the apps in there. Mr. Jeeves called us before we
Liz
even called it.
Davidson.
Liz
There you
Davidson.
go.
She does the great historical games.
Yep.
He also thought Hot Takes will win, even though he loves Mr. Jeeves loves the sporadically board.
Yeah.
She won it, right? Yeah. I don't know. Hot Takes, I think, is good, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Liz. Yeah, she's got a lot of pub from being on,
And that's
Dice
what it
Tower.
is.
Yeah, it's kind of a popularity thing.
I'm not saying her show is bad, but it's just
I mean, we could have been on there.
no, we couldn't.
No, we
not
couldn't.
this hot, not this hot garbage.
No. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Let's see. We got some foul language in there with some MFers. No, MNFers.
Yes, I agree with you, Jim. I think it was kind of late in the year, and it just hasn't quite gotten the. I think this one's going to be a slow burn. I think people are going to find out about this one a little bit at a time. But yeah, it's good. I think it'll be there on a lot of lists later in the year.
Chad Stilson says Arcs is great. The weight is in its strategy, not its rules.
Okay.
Everything is boiled in some same fryer at Garfield Games.
Yeah, I mean that look and that just general feel of the way they play all feel kind of samey, but they definitely do different things. They are all different games for sure.
And now I want Taco Bell.
Well, we're gonna do it after this.
And we're gonna have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Midnight run.
And then making us an international show tonight.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate that Edmund from Sweden gets the Taco Bell reference. That's awesome.
Do they have Taco Bell in Sweden?
I guess we'll find out. Let us know, Edmund. Do they have Taco Bells?
We are now international.
Woo!
He says that was an interesting observation with Taco Bell reference. I guess the graphics are so similar. Yes.
Okay. There you go.
And that's what you come here for, those deep thoughts.
Yeah, Deep Thoughts
Deep.
by Jack Andy. Old Saturday Night Live reference. But anyway.
Phone lines are still open, 813-618-7099.
Call
Robert,
in.
That was 40 minutes of our show right there.
Yeah, right there.
That
Just from watching the video and talking. So, but call in. Be the 20 minutes to our hour. you
Yes.
know?
Get us to the end of the show.
Yeah, for
y'all
sure.
have no idea how much we rely on y'all.
We gotta have stuff to talk about out there. I know people are playing games. Edmund says no Taco Bell.
It's not active in Sweden.
No. Okay.
I am so sorry for you.
Yeah, I am too. I wonder if Edmund's ever had a chance to get to a Taco Bell outside of Sweden. But
Listen, if we can get $10 donated to the show tonight,
we will send.
we will send Edmund a taco.
ship a taco.
We will ship him a taco in dry ice.
Wow. I don't think I'd want to touch that after international shipping. But anyway, gonna overnight a taco. Yeah.
That's a big haul there. Let's see. James Odak says, deep thoughts. If Earth is the third planet from the sun, isn't every country a third world country?
Wow.
I
Yeah,
think
that's good. Is that from the old Silent Live? That might have been one of the old deep thoughts for Silent Live. That's funny. Congratulations, Jim. You should get a beep for that thing unlocked over there, Xbox deal. But anyway.
Let's see. Your colon will thank you, Edmund. You are better off. That's chat still sitting in the chat.
You got to toughen up.
Listen, all I gotta say is if Taco Bell impacts your gastronomical situation,
You're in a weak situation.
you're a weak bloodline, and your bloodline deserves to be cut off. Like that branch needs to be pruned off the tree of your family tree.
I could agree. Yeah.
He says, I had a long week of food poisoning 15 years ago from Taco Bell.
That was 15
Haven't
years
been
ago.
there since.
Oh, man.
Well, they took the dog out of Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
So it's now full
anymore.
meat. So
Yeah.
maybe it might be different for you.
All right. Man.
I miss that old recipe, though. James Odak says, that's amazing. Mr. Jeeves says, James Odak, that's amazing.
There you go.
Deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
I love y'all.
That's funny.
When work is tough and we don't get as much gaming as we'd like in, actually having conversations with y'all, even in the chat or just the banter, it really does a lot for me.
Yeah.
So I hope it does a lot for you and help you to get away from whatever's got your mind, in tough places. But at the end of the day, just remember you can't quit, right?
Yeah.
We're in it for the long run. If you want to talk to, just reach out.
Yep.
beansanddice@gmail.com. Send me an email if you ever want to chat. Call us, 813-618-7099 is the number.
It's a community.
We are here for each other.
Yep. A community.
And this week I was here for some games.
Oh, yes. Actually, I forgot I had played one, but other than Ken Fire Delve, which I've played 5 times, but,
Let's see. Games played this last week. Robert, did you get to play? You did not get to play White Castle with us.
Live? No, I did not.
No, okay. I got some White Castle played this past week. Played some solo as well. So really enjoying my plays of White Castle, solo and in multiplayer. Been watching reviews on this week in gaming. That's the section we're in. We are now in the Twig.
Got the Twig.
This week in gaming. We're going to talk about games that we've played, content that we've consumed around gaming, and game purchases.
Works for me.
So anything in that gaming realm. Later, we'll get to that other geeky goodness, but this is This Week in Gaming. This Week in Gaming for me, I got some White Castle in both multiplayer as well as solo. I really love how concentrated, distilled this game is. It is like the new...
The more I've played it, the more I appreciate it, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I didn't love it the first couple plays, and I still think it's a little short, but I now appreciate it for what it does. It packs that stuff into just a real tight, quick game. And I prefer, and I didn't want to cut you off here, but I prefer my games longer, meatier, heavier. But the more I play it, now I'm starting to see a lot of those little interactions and having the one big turn where you can combo this to that to this in a game that is that tight. Feels good. So.
I am so glad to hear you say that.
I've come around.
I think one of my lowest points in 2024 was your disappointment in
I didn't love it at
Castle.
first. Yeah, I did. I just talked about it.
I was like, oh, this could be like our thing. This could be like our Euro game that we play together.
Didn't love it. But
no, you didn't.
It was good.
Too concentrated.
It's
almost like that new formula of Fabuloso, the floor cleaning stuff.
Okay.
They came out with a new concentrated version.
I don't know that one.
You don't use Fabuloso?
Fabuloso? No, that's not.
To clean your floors?
That's not in the white people catalog, I guess. But
it looks like juice. It's in the Walmart aisle for the floor cleaners, but it looks like a bottle of juice.
Okay.
It's got a great tropical smell.
Want to drink it?
Yeah, but they came up with a new concentrated formula, and I didn't realize it. I so over bubbled it.
So you didn't even realize it even when you were pouring it out.
Right, until I read the bottle. It says new concentrated formula. Use less Fabuloso.
Yeah, use with a bucket of water.
And that's what. And at the end of the day, that's what White Castle is. It's it's got a warning on there. Too much White Castle and concentration can be harmful to your brain.
Got to water it down a little bit.
Right, and that's what I heard the matcha.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Expansion.
Matcha. Yeah, I think it's matcha. Yeah.
I've been looking at that because again, that's on one of my wish lists to buy, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it because it does take away from that concentrated. Hey, I think Patrick Brown came over. His daughter was at church. She was at a church event, which is right down the street. And we're like, we got an hour. What do we play? Boom. I taught and played White Castle in an hour, and he walked away. I'm buying that game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, the matcha adds another round, I guess. It adds another little bridge. It adds another set of dice, another round to the game.
Yes.
Era,
no rounds.
Not
3 rounds.
Yeah.
Just another action per round.
Okay, another action
so there
per
are 4
round.
dice pools per round instead of 3.
Gotcha.
You'll have a total of 12 actions in a game versus 9.
So it does lengthen it, which I know Wayne and I were both wanting a little more. So I'm curious. I like the idea that it makes it, I can't call it a round, but it makes it longer. More actions that you can do, so it makes it longer that way. But I'm not crazy about the idea of another path that it adds and another bridge and another set of dice. I think I would have preferred them just adding one whole round onto the game. But
Right. Just give me another set of dice
yeah,
so I can pluck more dice each round.
maybe, yeah, something like that.
Because what I'm understanding, I watched some content, again, back to the Twig. Things we've been playing, things we've been buying, things in content we've been consuming about gaming. I watched a video this week about the matcha expansion, and the way it was described was it adds a fourth area at the bottom of the board that allows a 4th bridge, which has got the light green dice. But those light green dice really only get played in that new added section. So it's not like I get more resources or actions that I can use in the top part of the board
Rest of the game.
that I'm already used to.
Yeah.
I now have to incorporate a separate series of rooms and paths using those dice. I'm now diluting what I'm doing versus being able to use more of where I wanted to go.
Yeah, split your focus even a little more. So yeah.
And for all those reasons, I haven't bought it yet. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you've played matcha, is it something that should be added? Again, I'm out of space. I'm out of room. And again,
There's a spot up there.
Deviator Games does not make any game with enough room for the game itself,
Yeah.
let alone an expansion. So it will be 2 boxes held at the house
Yeah, all right.
if I buy it.
Okay. Well, that's good. I finally got to play Lisboa. I almost forgot. So Jim taught that. It was almost a week ago. We were doing we were planning to play our next to last Clank Legacy, and we had somebody back out at the last minute. So it wasn't last minute, but a couple of days before they let us know. But anyway, we decided to go ahead and meet up the 3 of us and play Lisboa. So my first play ever. The other 2 had played several times, and I like it. As I posted on the Discord, I can see why this is probably Lacerda's best game. It's, I think, the highest rated of the
Is
Lacerda's.
this the blue one, like the light blue game?
Yeah, you're rebuilding the city of Lisboa. I guess historically it was hit by an earthquake, a tsunami, and a fire all within like a couple of months of each other. So it burned the whole city down and flooded the city and leveled the city. And so you're rebuilding the city of Lisboa, and it's a pretty game. It is complex. Jim Odak taught it, and I'd say the teach was definitely 30 minutes plus.
Is that a 4.58?
Yeah, it's a heavy game. I mean, it's a Lacerda, right? I mean, Lacerda, it's not a Lacerda unless it's a 4 point something. So it was heavy, a big teach. I was a little slow, as I normally am my first play, a little slow picking it up, but I posted that I got blown away or I got torched by Jim and Daryl. They graciously said that I did well because I finished over. I was 102 points. They said beating 100 on your first game was good, but they coached me along a lot on it and gave me some pointers and stuff. So I appreciate the teach. I appreciate their help. But yeah, Lisboa, a great game. I can see why it's Lacerda's number 1. I can see why it's rated in the top.
This is your second Lacerda now?
25. Yeah, second Lacerda. So
Not that I'm keeping track.
yeah.
But I do have a diary. I write everything down.
Yeah, this one's good. So Kanban EV I played was my first Lacerda, and this is my second. Oh, I played the Raising Robots, which is Lacerda Light. It's one of his lighter pared down version, basically, of Kanban. So I played Kanban first, then I played the Raising Robots. I think.
Wait,
it's
which
called
Kanban was that?
EV.
That's the lighter version?
Electric version. No. The Raising Robots.
Raising Robots.
Is basically a lighter version of Kanban. So in Kanban, you're producing on assembly lines vehicles, motor vehicles, cars, and then in Raising Robots, you're building robots. But it's the same kind of general mechanics, pared down, simpler, lighter. Is it Raising Robots? Oh, hold on. Is that Lacerda?
Oh, I'll back it up.
Double check. That actually doesn't look like the cover of the game that I played, but maybe it was. I didn't.
Designer Brett Sobel and Seth Van Orden.
No, it's another robot game that I'm getting the name confused. It's something robots.
Okay.
Maybe somebody in the chat can help me out with that. But anyway, so officially this is, I guess, my third Lacerda, although I'm still going to call it my second. But Lisboa, excellent game. I mean, everybody who likes heavier games bows to Lisboa, and I can see why. I mean, it's really cool. The themes, there we go. That's the one. Was it
Bot Factory?
Bot Factory. I completely blew that. So Bot Factory. My apologies, but yeah, Bot Factory. I played this at the Dice Tower Retreat, and had an interesting interaction, interesting game with the guy who was teaching it. But anyway,
It's a 2.7.
Yeah, that aside, this was a much lighter version, much more friendly version of it. But yeah, so if you're looking to get into Lacerdas, that's I think a great one. Bot Factory, if you think you want to maybe look at how he does things, and it's got very similar mechanics to Kanban EV, but there's fewer things going on, fewer options, fewer places to go, but same general mechanics in the game. So. But anyway, Lisboa, yeah, I have to mention that I'm dying to play on Mars. I want to try Weather Machine. There's tons of. I want to play all the Lacerdas eventually, but Lisboa is going to be hard to beat. So I think I've seen the top. Now I want to see everything in between.
Bookends. You got
there. You go.
You got
yeah.
My First Lacerda.
Yeah, there you go. Basically, yeah.
And then getting into his heavier stuff.
Get Lisboa, yeah. So anyway, so that was my one big play. Other than the only other thing I played was Kinfire, and we'll get to that in a minute. But what's next on your list?
I got a purchase of Harvest. Bought it a while ago.
Yeah,
but it's in Japan only, and it's got a great story. The story of this game is amazing. But it got shipped to me from Japan. It's all in Japanese rules only. The rules, the reference cards, all in Japanese. You can print out English rules for it. I think there's a fight going on right now internationally for the rights to produce this in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Wayne introduced me to this game back in, I think, last year.
We played it a bunch at Dice Tower. I played it 5 or 6 or 7 times at Dice Tower last year. Yeah,
it got back on my radar thanks to Chris Yee, who did a video on it. I don't know what brought him to talk about it again, but it reminded me of what a small footprint game. I love small footprint games you can take anywhere. And I got the itch. I ordered it. It came in, got it played solo. So I've had a lot of solo plays with it. Haven't played it multiplayer since I got my copy, but I did play multiplayer before. So Harvest, the story on this game is a owner of a train station asked somebody to come up with a game that they can sell there.
Okay.
At the train station back in 1992.
Okay.
We taking you back to like
Dark Ages.
Pre-Malone. I think Malone was born in like 96 or something.
I was graduating high school in 92.
Before Post Malone was born. So this was pre-Malone. 1992. This game was designed and purchased only at a very specific train station.
In Japan, I assume.
In Japan.
In Japan, okay.
The criteria that was asked for of the designer was it needs to fit on a table tray of a train station game they can buy at the train station and then play while on the train.
Okay, cool.
Back in 1992.
Yeah, practical.
I didn't get to hear about this game till now.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a take that harvesting game where you're playing cards in order to try to get 3 types of vegetables in a row, 3 type of crops in a row, so that you can pull all those cards off the fields in order to score the cards. However, each player has their own set of fields. So, and your field is only a 2x2, Robert. It took me a little while to understand this math, but you cannot create a row of 3 cards if your field is only 2x2.
Right, not on your own. Yep.
Right. So you have to use somebody else's field in order to make that row of 3 cards. When you trigger a harvest with 3 cards in a row of the same crop, everyone's going to pull from their own fields. Well, cards vary from 40 points, 20 points, 10 points, -10, -20, -40 points.
Nice.
So when you pluck off your field, if you did it just right, you're only harvesting the positive cards while making your opponents harvest negative cards, because you're going to be planting crops not only on your field, but also on your opponent's field. The game does a great job in the solitaire mode. It feels completely different because in the multiplayer mode, it's very much a take that game. You're playing your negative cards on other people's fields and playing the positive cards on your fields, but then you're watching people break your chain, meaning they'll see you with 2 corn in a row, but they'll put a tomato next in line, knowing that you won't be able to harvest that until that tomato's gone.
Of course you will.
Yes. In the solitaire game, it becomes much more of a puzzle game against the bot. The bot is literally going to be filling up fields as quickly as it can. Meanwhile, you need to trigger pools off the field, harvests off the field as quickly as you can, because if the bot is ever not able to place a card, meaning all the field spots are taken, you lose the game. So you kind of got to balance getting points for yourself while also triggering harvest for the bot's board,
Just clearing them.
just to be able to clear the board. You don't the bot doesn't get any points. It doesn't care what it receives. Its goal is to kind of fill up the board and make it so that you can't place a card down and you lose that way. Your goal, you win when you deplete the deck, and then you count all your points, and then it's a scale that you go by. So it's kind of beat your own score kind of a deal. But the footprint was small enough to play on an IKEA bed. What do they call these little breakfast things that you?
Oh yeah, a little like a
little breakfast
tray,
eating table, like a table tray.
Yeah.
I have this IKEA table tray that I can eat breakfast on in my bed or something, but I use it for board games.
Of course you do.
I cut out a neoprene mat to fit the imprint of it.
Really?
So it's the size of like a placemat. It's very small.
Yeah, neoprene mat for your little bed table.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
Okay.
This is how I get games in.
Sure.
But I played like 7 games last night
Wow.
in a row
Okay.
of Harvest
Worth it.
solo player.
Worth it.
Love it. Great game.
Nice.
Oh, and I bought it.
Oh, yeah, you bought it. Of course you did.
So there's my let me-
That was a given. You didn't have to tell us that.
that was given.
Yeah.
There's my copy. It comes in this let me share it here. Comes in a small box. It's all in Japanese.
Did you get it imported?
Yes, it
Oh,
came
yeah.
from like it got actually shipped. The box came in from Japan, and you can see I had to print my own versions of the rules on my printer, so I can have the rules for solo and for multiplayer. And then you can see the cardboard fields that come in the game, one of each color. Each player gets a color. It's I think 6 players, so anywhere between 1 and 6 players. And you're going to be abutted against other players trying to place the crops in rows so that you can harvest them. But you want to make it so that you harvest the positive point crops while making your opponents harvest the negative point crops.
For sure. And there's a couple of special cards in there. The little tornado card.
There's a
and
tornado card and a harvest card. So the harvest card acts as a wild.
Wild.
You can place it and trigger a harvest immediately of anything in a row. And then the tornado card will wipe or discard any row of one crop when you place it as a wild. If you end the game holding on to the tornado or the harvest card, it's negative 50 points. Negative
Yeah, big
50.
50 minus.
So you really want to get those played.
That hurts. Oh,
But it's so fast and so easy.
Mm-hmm.
This is Harvest by 4 Games, published in Japan, distributed in Japan.
I didn't bring all my show and tell, but it hit me while you were talking there that I did pick up one more game from Daryl from his sale. Daryl's trying to get rid of a bunch of games. So in the Discord, if you're interested in some games, Daryl's got a bunch up there. Go check out our Discord in the looking to sell section. And he's got a spreadsheet up there with prices that are great prices. He's just trying to move some games. He's downsizing for a move that he's coming up on. But anyway, I also picked up a game that I'm going to say borderline obsessed with on BGA, and this is Roll and Write Records. I think I briefly have mentioned it before. This is a great roll and write, flip and write, one of those write games. I guess it's a flip and write. It's a card drafting. So you're going to get cards. You're going to pick one. You're going to pass. And then the card that you keep allows you to color in or do something on your player board. And I am really liking the combinations in this one. Have you ever played this, Carlos?
I'm not even familiar with this game.
Roll and Write Records. It is so good. I haven't talked to anybody who's played it who really didn't like it, and I've talked to a lot of people recently. Now that I've been playing it so much, that really rave about it. I know a lot of people in our Dice Tower, our Beans and Dice group, really like this. It may have a a sub name. I know it's Roll and Write, ROLL and
Draft and Write Records.
Draft and Write. Sorry, Draft and Write. Why am I saying Roll? There's no dice in it. It's Draft and Write. So you're drafting and writing. There you are. My bad. But anyway, great. And write, I guess, is the best way to say it, game. But you're drafting. I love drafting to start with.
X and Write.
X and Write. There you go. Yeah. I love drafting to start with. So you're getting, I think it's 5 cards always. I don't think that varies depending on the number of player. But like I said, you're going to pick one, and then you're going to pass. And then after you reveal that card, and then you're going to fill in your player board with an action off of that card that you did. And so basically the theme, you've got these different areas of the board. One is you're moving your tour bus along to different tour stops, and you're going to get points for hitting different tour stops along the way, depending on where your bus and your tour ends. You've got a band that you're trying to build, so you've got a lead singer at the top. You've got supporting band members. It goes all the way down to the bottom, which is your road crew. Just are people moving boxes and stuff for you, and you're drafting those cards and filling them in as you match up different symbols on the cards. As you color them in, you trigger bonuses in other areas where you can go and fill in some boxes on another area of the board. You've got a couple little tracks of making music videos. You fill in so many things, and you get to make a cassette tape or a video, which allows you a bonus that you can go to another section and color in a box in another section. So lots of combo-y goodness in this game. So I think this is one you would like quite a bit, Carlos. I'll have to bring it over now that I own it. I've been playing this a lot on BGA. I've probably got 30 or 40 games of it in. I've played everywhere from 2 players to 4 players. It seems to scale well. And again, I'm a big fan of drafting. And so any card drafting is always fun for me. And this combines that drafting with the and write part of it with all the combos that can pop off. And so usually you're comboing maybe one thing per turn, but you're going to have those turns where you do a thing that colors in a box over here that allows you to go color a box over in that section. If you put it in the right place, you're going to color in a box in another section. And so Draft and Write Records, Draft and Write, great game. I recommend it to anybody who likes these kinds of games. I believe it only plays to 4. It's not. I know a lot of these X and Write games can play a bunch of people. You can play 10, 20, 30, 40 people. I believe this one only plays up to 4. I think it's probably because that drafting mechanic where you're having to pass the cards around. But combines 2 of my favorite things, and it actually comes with colored pencils. I didn't know that. I only played it on BGA until I got it from Daryl, and then I got it, and in the box there's 2 sets, I think, of colored pencils for the 4 different colors that are in the game.
The colors matter when you write?
They do. So the bonuses kind of combo up off the colors, so like that little picture we're showing there for those who can see. As you add band members or producers or whatever to your group board, if you combo up, so the card will have 4 symbols on it, in north, south, east, and west, and you have to put them in that orientation on your board when you color them in. But if you match up one from one level to another level, and the 2 yellows match up, you can kind of see the lines there, then that triggers you to then be able to take that yellow action on another section of your board. So you can go over there and fill in a yellow thing, and fill on that one may create...
Wait, because I have a yellow here, it would allow me to fill a yellow here to complete a card there?
You take the card, and then so you'll fill in that section. You'll put in this band member here. It's worth 1. They're worth 1 to 4. So you'll write a 1. It'll be 1 point at the end of the game. They're in the middle, and then you'll see in that orientation they did the yellow, the blue. Oh, actually, they didn't fill that in.
Oh, you're right. They didn't.
Yeah, it's actually orange and purple, but it would be blue and red. But if one of the adjacent ones, a level up or a level down or to the left or the right, if I matched 2 of those colors, like the yellow and the yellow or the blue and the blue, then that would give me that specific bonus. They all have little symbols on them, so that relates to different parts of your board. So the 2 yellows would be the triangle section of your board. So you go over to the yellow triangle section, and then you'd be able to fill in something over there. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it almost feels like Endeavor Age of Sail, where you're trying to get those links together
a little bit,
and getting those combos from those links.
That's just for the band section. I mean, there's 4 main sections of your board, so that's just drafting the band members. That also is the timer for the game, or one of the timers. If somebody fills in their whole, I say band, but it's not your band, it's your band, your road crew, your lead singer, and your production people. But if somebody fills that whole section, that ends the game. Everybody takes that last turn and they're done. There's points where if you filled in stuff, you won't be able to place, kind of like in Welcome to, where if you have 4 times that you can't place because you just can't play one of the cards to fill anything in, you fill in a little negative box. And if somebody fills in all 4 of those, that triggers the end of the game. That'll be the last round of the game. But
I like the drafting. I like the writing. Draftosaurus is a top game.
Yeah.
It's got to be in my top 100.
Yeah, this was a good one. I like this one a lot. So I'll bring this over sometime. We'll give it a try. Maybe we can do a beans. Give it the beans on it. And
I'm down for
dive
that.
into it. So yeah, it's good. I think it scales well. Like I say, and you have some personal objectives you're trying to complete, and then there's some public objectives that everybody's racing to complete. So that's always fun too. Yep, a good one. Draft and Write Records. I got it right now.
Draft and Write Records. Phone lines are open 813-618-7099. I just realized I never put the banner on. But the lines were always open. I had said it. They're open. They're still open. 813-618-7099.
People have just been waiting for you to post that banner. So
That's what it is.
What was that number?
And because for that reason, the phone has yet to ring. We are a call-in show. We talk about games. And we talk about games we've been playing, things we've been up to, but we also enjoy other stuff. So we're going to get into some other geeky goodness.
All right.
Speaking of other geeky goodness, I made some old fashions for Robert and I today.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the lime in there? I add a little, twist to it.
I didn't necessarily notice it.
Didn't stand out too much.
It didn't too much, which is maybe good. I mean, it's there. But I didn't notice it, to be honest. Yeah.
Good, because it's subtle.
It's subtle.
Very
It is
subtle.
subtle.
I
Yep.
like it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where libations we're having tonight.
There we go. That phone just rang.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Ron from Atlanta.
Hey, Ron. How are you?
Hello, Ron Frazier. Welcome back to the show.
I am doing well, and I figured I'd wait till it's time to talk about stuff other than board gaming to call in.
There you go. You got the right time. We're there.
I am now very curious. Ron Frazier from Hot Atlanta. Also from Ron Talks Tabletop.
Talks Tabletop.
There you go.
That is correct. I still am doing content on that channel.
Nice.
No, I watch
mostly role-playing games and Super Show related.
Nice.
But what's funny is that, like, I messaged my group and I said, hey, guys, let's get together to play a board game. And because the thing is that, like, I just haven't been in the space to be the one to coordinate, but I'll show up. But none of my other friends are, at least they're not inviting me. Don't know what else they've been doing, but it is what it is. Yeah. And then I had to cancel last minute because my wife and I were totally on 2 completely different pages. I had some friends come in from out of town, and I didn't realize that they were staying with us. I thought they would just be visiting for a few hours.
Surprise!
I cannot say that wifey and I have always been on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Miscommunications happen. This is normal in marriage.
Oh.
So it was just ironic that the one time I'm kind of like, I got out the initiative to at least get the ball rolling, and like I had to back out.
It happens.
But the reason why I'm calling today is to talk about a movie.
Oh, nice.
So last weekend I saw the Thunderbolt.
Ah, that's what I figured. I'm curious.
My 21-year-old mentioned it, and he talked about how it's rising up the reviews right now. And I had to ask him, what is this? And he gave me the lowdown.
I've been waiting for this
of all the characters
for like the last year.
So I don't doubt that, Ron, that I'm probably not alone in the viewership here. So as you talk about this, talk to us like we've never heard of it.
Okay. So I would just say that, like, the best movies that Marvel Studios do, they're not just superhero movies. They're movies that really they really do a specific type of genre, or they have like a a message which resonates with people. The Thunderbolts is a group of ragtag B-level heroes or villains that are thrown together by random happenstance. Well, not so random happenstance. I do not want to give away the movie.
Sure, yeah.
But if you see the trailers, it's like, the Winter Soldier and like who is the most prominent and most well known of all the heroes on the Thunderbolts, right? Because everybody else is like the side characters from the Black Widow movie, and then there's the one of the villains from the Black Widow movie.
I think Taskmaster's one of them in there.
Taskmaster, yeah. And then
Invisible Girl from Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah, so it's like all of these. They're not like these A-level Marvel characters, right?
Right.
Even the Avengers wasn't like. Even the Avengers was not like Marvel's like A-level superhero team. It's just that's all that Marvel Studios had access to, and they made it into into a A-level team in pop culture, right? Because before it's for Marvel Comics, it was X-Men and Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and Marvel sold all that off, but they were having financial troubles. So like Iron Man was not this premier hero. They basically, Marvel Studios really built a multimedia empire out of their scraps.
Right, because these are not the characters you're going to find in the base sets for Marvel United. Right, these are like the expansions after the expansions.
After they run out of the
That's a good You put it in board game terms. That's great. That's a great way to put it. But like, I have my issues with the movie, but overall it was great. Like the movie really, the big message throughout the movie was like mental health and how people deal with it, and like that like everybody has a struggle and you're not alone, and it's really good. So it's doing well critically.
Yeah.
Financially, it's doing okay. But like seriously, this is not like your run of the mill MCU movie, villain of the week. Let's get together and beat him up, and the villain dies at the end of the movie, never to be seen again. This is not that.
Okay. Yeah, I've been curious. I saw a headline, I think yesterday, saying that this was one of the best Marvel movies they've made in several years. So, yeah.
My son brought it to my attention last night during dinner, and he's like, "Poppy, have you heard of it? It's getting amazing reviews," and he listed all the characters in it, it was like those, okay, I remember hearing about that character. I kind of remember that character.
Yeah.
Like
Fringe.
They were in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess they were so fringe, I don't even remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the MCU is that like it has gotten to a point where people feel like they have to, like it's homework to keep up with all the movies and the TV shows just so that they can know these characters. And while like Infinity War, like you could pretty much go to every Marvel movie and go in and watch it and not be completely and totally lost, because they do a good job of like resetting everything in the first act, just basically feeding you the essential bits of information that you need to follow the movie. Now it's just that's just too much, and I think they're going in a direction where they about to reset all of this stuff. But anyway, it's a really enjoyable movie. I'm gonna try to get out to see it again.
Oh, again! Wow.
Oh, okay.
That's
Nice.
big props. You
Yeah, that's
you
good.
didn't say that about the last comic book movie you saw. What was the?
No, you are correct. Although I did see it twice. I saw Captain America: Brave New World.
Yes.
twice.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was just say my daughter was just mentioning, Emmy, that the local drive-in, Joyland, I always want to say D on the, but it's Joyland. They're showing a double feature for $8 of the Captain America and this one as a double.
Thunderbolts as a double.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell my son about that.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Think we may do it. I'm not crazy about drive-ins. I mean, it seems like it's always a B-level
But
experience.
I think we did that
but
together
we
one
did.
time.
We've done it before. Yeah.
We turned the vans around backwards.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
opened the hatches,
Yeah.
and then we rotated all the seats. Like we took all the seats out,
Yeah.
and then turned the seats around.
Yeah. It's an
It
experience.
was a lot of work for us dads.
Did it rain that time? I can't remember. I've been
It
to a
was
couple of them
hot.
where it's
It was
rained.
Florida.
Yeah.
Ron, it's Florida.
Yeah.
It's
It's
hot,
down here.
muggy, mosquitoes.
You don't have to tell him he's in Atlanta. So
Yeah, that sounds. That sounds like a very Carlos thing to do.
yeah. Nailed it.
It's all about experiences. I think I have known a drug Rob out for that one.
Yeah.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
We got kids running
I was
around
just
everywhere.
I was just looking at pictures from 2022 around this time of year, give or take, and so those were pictures from in July, right? From Dice Tower E.
Yep.
And those were good times. It was great memories.
Oh,
No, that
yes.
wasn't 22. I'm sorry. It was 20. It was 23.
23.
A couple of years ago.
Feels so far away.
But man, I know. So, but yeah, I mean that's basically what I was calling it. Trying to get back onto playing board games on a regular basis. Been looking at the BGA website a couple of times this past week.
Nice.
But I'm at a point where I am gonna down not my collection's not large anyway. I have around 100 board games, but I'm looking to downsize even from that, just going really lean,
Sure.
like maybe half of that,
Mm.
and because I just don't need it, between all the public play groups and spring groups and everything like that, I'm like, I'm getting out of the hobby of collecting board games. I've gotten out of the hobby of collecting board games. So yeah, that's just where I am right now. It doesn't make any financial sense.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It was an article I read in Car and Driver. I mentioned it last week, but we didn't get into it. But you brought it up again. It talks about one of the saddest things to see in any classified ads is a classic supercar, low miles. Like, okay, so you've had this amazing supercar, but it's got like 500 miles on it. Like
Not
it's
driving.
never been driven.
On a showroom.
It's just been sitting in someone's garage for 20 years, 15 years, never loved, never experienced, just dry rotting out there. But it also talks about how, you know what, part of the hobby of automobiles and board games is collecting. For some folks, the idea of collecting the car is where the joy is, in the having of it in the garage or on the shelf is just as much joy for some folks as it is playing. And then it goes into talking about the difference in value of what you can get for these cars, kind of like with board games. They talk about, okay, so you can look at this Corvette that has never been driven, low mileage, and what does it get on the auctions? And then you compare it to one that has decent miles, it's been loved a little bit, right? And the price difference is negligible. The value you get in keeping a game untouched is going to be if you're doing it for the resale value, whatever you get at is going to be negligible. Enjoy your games.
Mm.
And for that reason, I as soon as a game comes in, I open it, I punch it, I play with it, I look at it. And I might not ever get it played, but I get more enjoyment than it just sitting and shrink.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And then move it on. For some of you, I'm going to keep them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let go.
Yeah, I mean, like, War of the Ring, I will never get rid of. You know, like, I got it painted. You know, I even, I don't even have any of the expansions. It's just the base game. But I love that game so much that it'll never leave my collection. You know, and you know, there's a handful of other games that are like that. But everything else is on the chopping block. The smaller games, like I have a secondary shelf with smaller games on it. It's probably I'll hold on to those, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, start with the big
Like,
box stuff.
I don't call them as much anymore because I'm like, I just don't like, I don't want to call it every week talking about how I'm kind of like
downsizing,
slowing down and flying, and you know, I don't play as much, and this is a board game calling show.
No, but I'm glad you called in through the other geeky goodness part.
Yeah.
As we call it, the OGG, coming straight out of Hotlanta, my man Ron Frazier, bringing in the OGG, that other geeky goodness.
All right, but seriously, like, since I know that, I don't know, Wayne's not there tonight, but I'd say a good portion of your panel likes other tabletop games that I'm into, like role-playing games.
Sure.
If you ever have that as like part of a topic of discussion, please invite me.
Oh, you're always top of mind whenever role-playing games comes up in our conversations. It's the seasons of the co-host on the show are not, well, okay, Rob, there's never a season for RPGs in Rob's world. Never.
Not yet.
The seasons, I know Wayne, his boy, is getting into, I think, 9 or 10 now.
Yeah, it's gonna be about 9. Yeah.
So it I guess the season isn't there right now for the main host, at least for me right now either. I know my son asked me for some books to read. I, as a parent, I don't give my small kids access to smart devices yet. Not until they're a little older and they can demonstrate responsibility. There's too much risk. So he's bored out of his mind, practically, like on car rides and stuff. So he just asked me, "Hey, Papa, you got any books or anything that I can just like read around on?" And I went through my shelves and I found the Mouse Guard comic book series, which got me reading those again, which then has me rethinking about the Mouse Guard role-playing game, which I have, Burning Wheel. Does that Luke? Oh man, what's his name? Luke. I'm trying to remember the name of the designer. Luke Peterson. Luke something.
Luke Crane.
Crane.
Yep.
Great role-playing setup, and I'm like, okay, so I try to push that on him. Like, you read these comics, tell me what you think. You know, like I'm trying to like get him to say, I'd play that game. But it's not happening. It's not happening. I think the best I'm going to be able to get out of him right now, because we're watching Andor together, there's my OGG, is I had Rob drop a copy of Star Wars Rebellion over here. So I might be able to get some Rebellion played. But that's my season right now, is convincing my own kids to play with me.
Right. Maybe I'll talk about it in a future week. But like, there's been like a resurgence, a renaissance of old school style role playing games, and there's a procedurality to it that's very reminiscent of board game play.
You talked about a procedurality of it? Is that what you said?
it's in dungeon crawling is very procedural, and it's more board game like than people may realize. But I'll talk about that some other time.
No, I don't disagree with you. That's part of why I really enjoy HeroScape. Break door down, kill monster, take treasure.
Yeah.
Well, good to hear
All
from
right, guys.
Yeah, it's been a while, Ron. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
I know. I've been busy being a volunteer and being a dad.
Good stuff.
And we appreciate that. Family first here. We totally get that. Hey, God bless.
All right,
Great to hear from you.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
See you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Phone lines are still open. 813-618-7099 is the number. We are in that segment of the show, the OGG, where we talk about other geeky goodness. Ron Fraser led us off there with his conversation about Thunderbolt. I don't think he gave any spoilers.
No, I
know
think
there was
so.
a concern in the chat. No spoilers, please.
No. I
I
think
think
we're
it
all
was
right.
Chad Stilson. No spoilers. Edmund England says drive-in movie is a interesting concept. I don't have that, and I have never been to one. So are they still around in Tampa? In the Tampa Bay
There are
area,
some
I
here.
think there's one in Dade City.
Yeah, there's one in Sarasota. We've been down there once. There's a couple of. There's 3 of them, I think, that are within hour and a half of here. So
Yeah, what I like about them today is they play off of your radio system. So you dial into whatever station they're in, and depending on the quality of the speakers in your car, it's going to provide you a good system. I remember when I was a kid, like I saw Ninja Turtles,
little hang-ons,
the movie in drive-in in Puerto Rico, and it had like a little hang-on
hang
speaker,
on the window, yeah.
and you only got one for the car, and it was horrible audio.
Oh yeah,
It was
I did that.
like the whole family trying to listen to
Huddle around one little speaker.
well, yeah, but no, here in the U.S. at least they use FM, so all of your speakers can work for it.
Yeah.
I think what I like about it the best is the kids who are bored and don't want to sit in their seat, they're not distracting anyone. They can go do what they want. The kids that can ran around, ate popcorn, threw stuff at each other while we hung out.
Yeah.
I think we played a game. Didn't we play a
played
game?
Portable Catan, I think, one year.
Yes, we did.
I don't think we finished that game. I think we started it. And
We set up a side table at the drive-in because I think it was like a kids movie for the kids. It could have been Cars,
Sonic or Cars or something.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we played a board game on a side table.
Yep.
We are so lame.
Oh, yeah.
We are them.
I know we touched on Andor. I wanted to jump back to that because we were talking about that before the show started. So for our OGG, so we're at opposite ends of the Andor spectrum. You're pretty much pretty close to all caught up.
Right. I think there are 4 episodes that are currently out in season 2. My son and I have watched episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, my family had started it when it was original, and we got bored with it after I think about 2.5 episodes, and we set it aside, said we were going to come back to it, and we never did. And then now, a year's gone by, and I kept hearing you and Wayne talk about it, so we went back and watched it, and you told me I had to tough out those first couple. And yeah, you have to tough out the first couple. Those first 2 or 3, my daughter said again when we watched
It's called
it again.
character development.
Well, I know.
Robert.
She said it again after we watched it the second time, the second episode. She was like, "Man, is this going to pick up? Because this is really slow." And I was like, "Yes, according to Carlos and Wayne, it's going to pick up." And
the internet, like
Yeah.
I know that it's not a good argument to appeal to higher authority, but the internet also believes
they agree
it's good.
Yeah, they like it. So, but yes, we've hit episode 4. Episode 3 started getting good. Episode 4 is good. So yeah, so now we're to the good stuff. So we toughed out those first couple episodes.
I think the most fun I had was watching the recap of season 1.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, oh man, I remember that. Oh man, I remember that. Oh man, I remember that.
Okay, so I got to get there. Yep, I got a bunch more to go.
It's so wide. It's so encompassing of so many different storylines coming together, which almost felt like what Rogue One the movie was like. In the Rogue One movie, there's so many pieces that come together to be able to complete the objective, complete the mission.
Okay.
This one, there's some side quests in this new season that are interesting. I'm not sure if it was so far episode 2.
Okay.
But my son tells me that the most recent episode that dropped, I think, is officially like the highest rated Star Wars thing put out ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
All movies and everything.
Right. Of
Yeah.
all of the side content and stuff, like it's the best episode ever. So I need to hurry up and
Get
get
there.
through these.
Yeah, get there so you can tell me how good it is.
I love the actor Diego Cassian.
Yeah.
Diego that plays Cassian Andor. I remember him from Terminal.
He's a little
I think
animated
it's called
guy.
Terminal.
Animated guy on the cartoons, Diego. Well, anyway,
Dora.
Dora and Diego.
He played in the movie with Tom Hanks where he was stuck in the airport terminal. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
I don't think I saw that one.
You never saw that one where Tom Hanks plays the foreign guy who his country goes to war right after he lands in New York, but he's stuck in the airport because now his country has no visas or anything, so he can't go into the U.S. And he has to live in the terminal.
Nope, I haven't seen that one.
The actor Diego that plays Cassian Andor
I'll look it up. Yeah.
is an actor in that film. I really liked him.
Somebody in the
too.
chat can help us too.
If you're in the
somebody
chat.
knows. Yeah.
It's Tom Hanks playing a foreign guy living in an airport terminal.
Okay.
Great film. I watched it not too long ago again. That's Andor. What I'm also enjoying The Rookie. We're fairly caught up on that. Here's the cool part about that. I had mentioned how my son has been watching, my 14-year-old has been watching all of The Rookie, kind of catching up with it. My 18-year-old son has been doing a lot of stuff with a local police department, the Tampa Police Department here. So he got into all things police. Like the last year, he's been spending like every Monday and even other weekdays and weekends working with the local police department doing an explorers thing. And he really got him interested in his police stuff, which then in turn got my other son interested in police shows because my older boy's been watching. So he's been catching up on The Rookie, but now he's finally caught up. So last week, for the first time, we got to sit together as a family and like watch The Rookie together. Like that's just a cool feeling, the idea of being able to watch like together. We can all watch this together, kind of a feeling. So almost like what you do with your families.
Yeah.
Now that the kids are getting a little older, you can actually watch and share stuff with them.
Yeah.
So The Rookie's been hot on our watch list.
Diego Luna, that's the
Diego
actor.
Luna.
Yeah.
Yep. Look for this. Had to be like early aughts.
For his movies.
His movies, early
his movie
aughts.
history,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks.
Yeah.
Wifey has been watching the newest season of You. You.
Haven't heard of that one.
You start. I think it's season 5 or something. Like we're deep into this thing. It was great when I first started watching a few years ago. It was a guy, a stalker-ish guy who always fell in love with women, but then ended up killing them all. And I kind of started losing like my love for the show because at the end of the day, the guy is just like a straight up, just a bad guy. Like he thinks he has good motives. You know, like he's a bad guy, but he thinks he's doing the right things.
Okay.
And that's kind of been like every season. And I've just kind of been hoping like, when is he going to get his? Because he's still a bad guy. And I've just kind of been side-eye watching while wifey watches. So, Terminal.
I was going to ask you.
Terminal.
You said The Terminal. I was going to say, wait, I know there was a movie called The Terminal. I was going to ask you.
Early
is it The
odds,
Terminal?
2004.
Yeah,
there it is. Tom Hanks, recommended.
Anyway.
But in You, this last season, I kind of like, she started it. I'm like, I said last season, I'm done with this guy. He's a bad guy. He should go to jail. And then this season, like, it's starting to happen. And I went less of like side eye watching to more of like, okay, 2 eyes watching now, because now I'm starting to see, okay, things might not be going exactly as he's desiring. You, very hot show right now.
Okay.
The Office is at the office. Everyone at the office is talking about it.
Oh, haven't heard of it. Yeah. You. Why you? What network is it on? Did I miss that?
That is Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
YOU.
Keep a lookout for it.
It's very it's interesting because it's played the protagonist, the main character in the show, is also the narrator, right? So you're getting his thought by thoughts live as things are happening. So like his inner monologue is the main thing you're listening to. So it feels like a good audiobook.
Okay.
That's what I really liked about it. And the actor, oh man, I know. I never mind. My wife will remind me later where else he's from.
I was just taking a look. I haven't been watching much. I was going to just check the score. Look, yep, they won. I've been watching some hockey. Our Tampa Bay Lightning got knocked out last week. So, as I've mentioned a couple times, me and Nick and Joe, which is my Frosthaven group, we went in on season tickets for the Tampa Bay Lightning a couple years ago. So, between the three of us, we split those tickets up and go to games. So, they got knocked out, which is a bummer. But my home team, my team before the Lightning, which are my number 2 team now, is the Washington Capitals. So they are in the playoffs in round 2. They won tonight 3-1. So I've been watching a lot of hockey lately until the Lightning was knocked out. It was Caps one night and then the Lightning the next night. They were alternating nights back and forth for their playoff games. So, but now every other night I'm watching the Caps play. So go Caps, go Alex Ovechkin. They even up the series with Carolina Hurricanes. But anyway, so between that, I haven't had a whole lot of time. We've been, again, trying to watch Andor. We did watch, got completely caught up on Ghosts, another game, another show I talk about a lot. We were like 2 episodes behind, so we watched those last 2 the other night. So still really loving that show. It's been renewed for 2 more seasons from what I hear. So I think it's season 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. So it's going strong, and I like that show quite a bit. Have you watched Ghosts at all?
Not yet.
No. If you like comedy, I mean, it's comedy, but it's pretty funny. So it can be a tad raunchy at times, but it's still, I would say,
After 10
it's
o'clock,
family
that's
TV.
okay.
Yeah, it's good, but yeah, really good show. So between just catching up on a few little things like that, I haven't dabbled in anything new. We did just get, actually, I think I might have mentioned it last time. I got a brand new phone, the Pixel 9 or whatever it is, and when we were at the Verizon store, they had a package for Netflix, and so we were like, just, what's curious, we were sitting there waiting for them to unlock the vault to get the phone out. I guess they have a thing now, they've got them in a vault, and they can only unlock it every 10 minutes or something.
Really?
Yeah, they're all locked up. I guess people coming in robbing them for their phones. But she's like, yeah, we got to wait 10 minutes for my manager to reset the code so I can go in and do the thing. So we were just chatting, and we were like, well, there was an ad for the Netflix. We're like, well, we've been Netflix for 10, 15, 20 years or whatever. We're like, what's the deal through Verizon? She's like, well, it's exactly the same price, but we add on Max. And I was like, oh. I was like, Max, that's the Last of Us, right? She's like, oh, yeah, that's a great show. And I was like, oh, I've been wanting to watch The Last of Us. So we signed up for it, got it switched over. Completely the same price, nice switch over. They actually notify Netflix. So while we were sitting there, we activated it. And 30 seconds later, my wife gets a message from Netflix saying, oh, we recognize you now through the Verizon plan. We've turned off your
Is it
old
all
one.
on the same app, though? You're going to be able to use Netflix to watch
everything
Netflix
carried over.
and Maps?
All of our
And
stuff,
Max?
all of our, yes.
All on one app.
Oh, it's no, it's the Max has its own separate app. So we had
So you add a new app now.
right, we had to add and then had to set up a password and a code and everything for Max. But the Netflix stuff all transferred over. It was not, we didn't have to do anything. All our
Have you found a
favorites
show
lists
yet
and
on
everything.
Max?
Well, The Last of Us is going to be it. So that's I haven't started watching it yet, but I've been dying. I've mentioned on the show a few
Did you play the
times.
video game?
I've been dying. Yeah, both of them all the way through, start to finish. So yeah, that's one that I've been wanting to. That
All
one.
right, so that'll be one you can bring to the OGG.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that watched. And then still, one of these days, I'm going to sign up for the Apple TV. That's it's got to be the big one because there's like 6 things on Apple TV.
I just feel like there's too much stuff to watch, and like the subscriptions are adding up.
Right. That's why I don't
the money
feel
is
pressed.
flowing out of the account. They call it currency for a reason because it flows like a current.
For the last couple of years, I've been trying to convince my wife to go on a rotating schedule. Like, wait, we can turn this one off, we can turn this one on, turn that one off. She's like, it's too much trouble. We'll just stick with what we got. But now she's kind of seeing the light on that. She's like, you know what? We could probably turn this one off. And like Paramount Plus, we had like one more show we wanted to watch on there. I was like, let's just turn it off. It'll be there in 6 months when we come back to it.
Yep.
Let's go over to let's turn on the Apple TV because then we can do that. There's 5 or 6 things on there I want to watch. So
that's a smart way to do it. That's a frugal way to do the OGG.
Yeah.
Is have 1 or 2 subscriptions at a time.
Yep.
And then just alternate and then binge.
I think so. Yeah.
Our man Chris in the chat. Good evening, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Welcome, sir. For me, sports-wise, NASCAR again. I know I told you I went to through Talladega, stopped at Talladega, the week of Talladega race, and picked up the Joey Logano hat to promptly watch Joey Logano get disqualified that race.
Right.
So I was like, oh, crap. I bought the hat. I thought it was good luck. Apparently, it's bad luck.
How did you do last week?
Well, last week was at Texas
International?
Texas Motorsports Speedway, Motor Speedway. Really rough track. Joey got the win.
Oh,
Joey
did he
Logano
really? Oh,
took
okay.
the win.
So maybe it was a delayed reaction,
right,
delayed effect.
It's a good hat. I can keep the hat.
You can keep it now.
I've had like 4 compliments on that hat whenever I wear it out in public.
Okay.
People seem to like that bright yellow Pennzoil hat.
It's an eye catcher. Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my sports thing.
Nice.
Gaming came into OGG.
Okay.
Let me talk about a little bit about how my gaming kind of cross lines with my OGG. So my son is watching What If? The Marvel animated series. And I think there was an episode in there, like a cowboy episode. I can't remember who the characters were. But he was kind of talking out loud about like, oh, you know, why do they call it a spaghetti western? And I'm what I found is I tend to jump in a lot when I hear someone ask questions because I have a lot of random knowledge.
Just random weird stuff.
So I now ask questions when I hear people say stuff like that. Like, are you really asking because you want to know, or are you just throwing it out there? Because if you really want to know, I got an answer for you.
I got the real facts for it.
But if you don't, you just kind of said it and you don't really care, that's fine. I'm good with that. We can all walk away.
It's Italian, right?
Right. He said, no, I want to know. And then I got to explain how I learned this because of Bang the Card Game. When I got Bang the Card Game, I was so curious as to why all the cards in Bang the Card Game were in Italian.
There you go.
Beer's in Italian, right? Bang is in Italian, and like all the words, the sheriffo, the deputy it's all in Italian. The bandits are all in Italian, and I was so curious why, and I researched it and found out it's an homage to the spaghetti westerns, which were the western movies of olden days, right? So you think of your, excuse me, why I can't remember his name right now, actor, cowboy, played Patton. Why did?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can see his face. What? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too. Anyway,
wow, how did I draw a blank there? Anyways, your classic
not
westerns.
Charleston Heston, but the other guy.
From my cold dead hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
old guy. Old dead guy, probably.
Right,
Yeah.
but all those films were filmed in Italy, so you thought they were filmed in like the West, and all the Mexicans were actually Italians.
Nice.
So that's where the cliche or the phrasing spaghetti western was created. So I got to teach my son a little bit. The whole time my wife's rolling her eyes at me.
Useless knowledge.
There goes Carlos with his useless knowledge again.
Yep, of course. Interesting.
So there's OGG
Little
crossing
crossover.
with board games.
Hey, the two worlds collide.
Yep. And speaking of board games, we still have a game on our table.
We do. Yeah.
So at this point,
touch on
phone lines are still open, 813-618-7099. That catches you up on our other geeky goodness. We're going to continue playing a little bit of Kinfire Delve. Kinfire Delve, let me show Rob there. He's got a copy of the Kinfire. Look how small that box is. This version, I think, is the second set.
Smaller than my head.
Scorn
I think
Stockade.
So. Scorn Stockade, yeah. And I think they're all named after the big bad guy that's in each one of them, even though this is just the first one I played. But I was impressed. I talked about this before, how it has kind of a 3D look to the cover. And then I didn't realize when I took it off that there's art inside the lid, the box lid, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like almost like a little D&D group huddled around a fire. So
all the different adventures from, I think, all the different series.
Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, looks like 6 of them.
They kind of do like an unmatched thing where it's two different characters in each box, but then it also has its own set of bad guys that you're going to play against. So kind of give you a rundown of the board here. We've got our dice tray down here. This is where you're going to roll 4 dice each time you take an action. You're going to roll the 4 dice, which can give you either some boons or some banes.
Yes, for sure.
Depending on the setup out there.
Up there. I was going to say there are dice in this game, and I'll allow it. I'm actually enjoying the dice in this game, which is cool.
I do like it because it adds a variability to the game.
Yep.
Over here in the center of the board is going to be the well that we are diving into. So the idea is kind of like going into the sewers, into the wells, underground. I don't know why they didn't call it just dungeons, like dungeon delving, but they call it wells.
Yeah, diving into the well.
Scorn is the main character that we are after. He's in the center of this. There'll be 4 baddies that get added from the baddie deck, the well deck. Each round, they're going to be, as we kill them off, they'll be replaced. There'll always be 4. They're each color-coded based on a type, so red, green, or blue. And then our cards, so as you can see here, on my side of the board, I've got a character by the name of Fen. He has a deck of cards from here that he gets to play with, and I'm going to have a hand of 7 cards that I get to play to interact with the challenges, the 4 challenges that are around the center of the well. Our cards are going to have different colors, so they're going to be either red, green, or blue, and those colors will dictate or limit which challenges we can interact with. A red card can interact with a red challenge, and so on. There are white wilds available that can interact with any challenge. We have a very small deck. I can't remember how many cards are in that deck, Rob, but I don't think it was very big.
Yeah, you draw 7 to start. You whittle it down, then you draw up another 7 when you're done, and there's a few left. So I'm gonna guess 16,
Ish.
18 cards. Yeah.
Yep, and the well is the main deck. So this is the objective of the game, is to get to the bottom of the main deck. Robert and I have a nice stack of a discard
Good
over
well
here.
so far. Yeah.
And only a few cards left in the well to get to the end. That is the objective. When you get to the end, you get to the big baddie. That's when you're at the bottom of the well. You get to flip Scorn over and reveal Scorn. There are 3 different types of each baddie in the game box. You're going to shuffle up, pick one. That'll be the one you play that game. They're all different. So which version of Scorn we have, we don't know. We'll find when we get to the bottom of the well. After you've played all your cards, or at any time, you may choose to refresh your hand. By refreshing your hand, you discard any cards you have left, and then you have to draw back up to 7. But you're also going to get to the timer of the game. The game's timer is this fatigue deck. The deck has multiple cards in the deck that each have individual names, such as discarded or estranged or fatigued. All these different versions of the fatigue cards. If ever 2 cards that interact are revealed face up from that 3,
3 of them. Yeah,
3 of them.
Sets of 3. Yep.
It's sets of 3. So there are 3 cards that, if that set of 3 cards are face up at the same time, you immediately lose the game. So that's kind of the timer. Is each time you discard down or redraw back up, you're going to add more cards to the face-up display of the fatigue cards. But if the matching set reveals, you lose the game. So you really are trying to get as much as you can out of your hand before you have to draw back up. This prevents you from drawing up forever. We're only going to get so many draw-ups before the set shows up. But I like it because it's not an exact timer.
Sure.
It's not like a countdown. We don't know exactly when this will end. We're pushing our luck to get there.
And there's different effects on some of the cards that allow you to reflip some of those fatigues over, so you can get rid of some of those if you need to. Usually it's an option. You can do that or do some other cool thing, so you're having to weigh that, balance that. Lots of little decisions in this I found as I've played it more and more.
Yes, because what I'm finding with this game is, although the main rules are pretty simple, everybody has a target number you want to reach in order to beat them. They'll give you something if you do beat them. They'll give you a boon if you don't beat them, right? So if you don't beat them in that one round, you're going to have a consequence. It's pretty basic, pretty simple. But then there's a lot of text on these cards, a lot of, I'm not going to call them keywords, which I think would have been nice. But instead, there are more like sentences that you're going to read that describe what happens when that card is played or when that challenge is interacted with. A lot of challenges have bold letterings, which means that these abilities are active the entire time. So there's a lot of thinking and remembering, like, okay, we have to remind ourselves, this baddie is out, this baddie is out, that card is out. So these things are in effect right now. So there's a lot of remembering, a lot of fiddliness.
Yeah. Good thing is
nothing too much.
Yeah, I'd say it's only about half the cards that have the bold text, which are kind of universal when they're face up. And so you're not having to remember 3 or 4. It's usually just 1 or 2 of them at a time that are up. So it's not too much. But we have had times when me and my daughter were playing that we've forgotten. We've gone around or 2 and we're like, oh, crap, we forgot. Everything's a +2 right now. So there is a little bit of upkeep that way. Yeah.
But what's great is that variability in the monsters' way that they interact with, the challenges, ways that they interact with you, really make you have to make decisions on target prioritization. Right? So some of the cards may say, hey, if this card is out, you don't refill the well whenever a challenge is defeated. But then you have another card that might say, when this card is out, all other cards add +2 to their target number. So like, okay, well, we got to get rid of that card so that we can no longer have the +2 against us for all the other monsters. But there's a lot more depth you'll see as we play. At this point, you're going to watch us play and finish up this round.
Yeah, I got about 10 minutes here. We can just play a little bit just so you can see. And then a little too early probably to give us the beans, but maybe in a week or 2, once we've had a few more plays, we can get a little more deeper into what we think of this. But,
well, seeing as the different styles and different box sets, this is the kind of game where I could see you having a box set and then I have a different box set and we swap it around. Almost like Final Girl or Unmatched. Where you don't have to buy it all. You just got to buy something different than the other guy.
And they're all interchangeable. The bad guy guys are interchangeable with the heroes, and you can take one from one to the other. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how those interactions play out. But
I think it's your turn, Robert.
is it my turn? Okay.
So Robert's got a hand of cards, 7 cards. It's all open information because we are fully cooperative against the baddies.
Yep. We can talk about what we have. We can talk about strategy, what to play. We can.
Whenever
show
Robert
cards.
plays an action to challenge interact with a challenge, one of the 4 challenges on the board, I have the ability to boost by playing up to 2 cards along with him. The bottom of the card tells us what type of things can be boosted, as well as how much boost I can give him. But then I am discarding a card from my hand and reducing my ability to take actions on my own turns.
All right, so I was looking at, just so happens, 3 of the 4 cards we have right now are red. We do also have an event. There are a few events in the game that allow you to do different things. This event, I don't know that I want to interact with. I was going to go...
It's a key. If we take the event, we take the key into our hand.
Yep.
We can use it to unlock stuff later.
Yep.
I'm totally fine with that key sitting there.
Yeah, I think it's blocking a spot, which is kind of nice, so more bad guys can't come out.
Right, no more special abilities to interact with, boost another bad guy.
And right now you can boost white or blue or green, huh?
White is wild, so I can give you a +1 to anything.
Okay. And then blue and green aren't out right now, so I'd have to be looking at red. So I'm looking over here, the Trial of the Heart. If you don't beat it in one shot, you discard your whole hand, which isn't good.
Discard your whole hand if you don't kill it in one shot?
Yeah, that's what it says. If failed, discard your hand and attach this card to Scorn. So he goes away no matter what, which is nice. But yeah, with my 3 and your 1, I don't think we're going to one-shot that. So... looking at other cards to go after, we have this one down here, the Pale Cathedral. All cards named Empire Priest or Empty Priest gain +8 to their difficulty. We don't have any
empty priests out there,
so not too worried about it. And then the Looming Statue, at the end of each turn, remove 2 progress from this challenge. So he's a 9, and if we don't beat him all in one shot, then at the end we take 2 off of him. So kind of looking ahead, you're not.
So it's like a troll. It heals.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to play.
I can only give you a +1 to help with. I don't think you're killing anything this round.
Yeah, we really need to get rid of something because you can't attack anything otherwise. I'll go here. I'm going to try on the Looming Statue. I'm going to play a 3 because this is red or blue, so I'm going to play that against the red. My card does not have any attacks. Some of these have attacks and things that they do, but I'm going to do that, and then it's up to you, I guess, whether you want to add a
All right,
boost.
so you currently have 4 power to the Looming Statue, which is a power of 9.
Actually, 3, I believe.
Plus, I'm sorry, you're right, 3.
It's just 3. Yeah, there's nothing down here.
Just 3. I can only give you a +1, so I know we're not going to kill it.
So
I think I'm going to have to hang on to my card, Robert.
Okay, that's fine. So then every turn you are required to roll the dice. So dice can do good and bad things, but they add pips. So I just rolled 2 reds and a wild. So that's actually 3 additional hits.
Yep, because he's got 1 red here, 1 red here, and then a wild light die. This die is a dice that provides either light or darkness. Darkness are banes. Light is boons. So you got a boon of +1.
And so officially, I did 6, 3 with my base +3. So 6 would go on the Looming Statue. But then at the end of my turn, I discard this. And since I didn't beat him, we will take the penalty, which is actually 2 life lost. So we have a shared pool of life that starts at 10. We were at 9, so now that's going to roll down to 7. If that goes to 0, obviously you lose. And then the Looming Statue, at the end of the round, it says that if you didn't defeat him, 2 of the progress tokens get taken off. So I did 6 damage, but 2 are coming off, so now he's at 4. Not great. But...
All right, so on my turn, Robert, I have no cards that can interact with any of the challenges that are on the board other than the key. I can do the event and take the key and hope that a blue baddie shows up because we do want to get through the well.
Yep.
We want to draw these monsters out and either defeat them or discard them. So I think I'm going to trigger the event card called the Master Key. When you trigger an event card, you just read what it says and does it. Keep this card, attach it to Scorn instead of interacting with the well card on your turn to complete all challenges with Vault, Lock. Oh, okay, so it's got keywords in here.
Yeah.
So I keep this card, and when I'm ready, I can attach it to Scorn. Does this go into my hand and count as a card in my hand?
It does, yeah. It says to keep it face up on the table, kind of like your lantern. But
okay, so it doesn't count towards my hand limit.
No. Right. Yep. So then now we replace from the top of the well. This is going to be Scorn's Vault coming out at a power of 9.
Do I have to roll dice for doing an event?
You do not. Yep,
Okay.
that's your whole turn.
That's
Is just
only
read
for
the text. Yep.
playing a card.
Right. Yep. So it's back to me now. Scorn's Vault is a 9. What does that one say on it?
It's a blue card.
When you complete, you can either get rid of an exhaustion, flip one back face down, or delve 5. I'm probably going to go there because you can.
That's all I
boost-
can do is I can boost you there and also attack it myself
that.
if I need
So
to.
yeah, maybe double up on it and see what happens. So I've got a card called Surround. It's tax blue, so you have to match colors. This is a base of 2, but it says if the action is boosted, it's a +2, so it becomes a 4. So when Carlos boosts it, he'll add on to the 4, and he can boost it with up to 2 cards if you wanted to. But
Yes, I can. So let's see. Boost. That would put it at
you got a boost of 2 and a boost of 1. So if we did all of them, it would be 4, 5, 6, 7.
plus dice.
Yep, 7.
So I'm gonna contribute 2 boosts to this. So it's a total of 3 boost. 3 to the attack number.
Yep.
So what value are we at, Robert?
So my 4 plus your 3 is 7.
7. The target number is 9.
Yep. If we miss, we take 2 more damage. But
Robert's gonna roll this, and we're gonna hope for 2 blues.
you don't have a reroll for me for your ability.
Negative. I got no rerolls for you.
Need 2 blues.
We got 1 blue.
Oh, 1 blue and didn't get the wild.
And a darkness, but I don't see anything that triggers darkness.
Oh, and I forgot my ability. I should have moved a damage over.
Oh wait, but it's a cooperative game.
It's a cooperative game.
So
what I
at the
did-
start of Robert's turn, he would have moved.
My ability for my character is at the beginning of the turn, if there's any damage out here or any progress out here, I can move 1 progress to another target. So I clearly would have moved 1 of the progress from the looming statue.
Knowing
over.
you were going to go there.
Yeah, of course, knowing that I was going to attack that, which now gives me exactly 9. So we beat Scorn's Vault. Of course,
You
we
see
did.
how those co-op games work?
Yeah, of course we did. So Scorn's Vault's dead. So the benefit for that is there's a little asterisk on the benefits section, but then you read the text. If completed, you can either flip one of your exhaustions face down, fatigues face down, or we can delve 5. So how worried are we about
I think
those?
we delve 5.
Delve 5 seems pretty good.
We go straight to the bottom of this well.
And then we have to take 2 off of here. And actually, one other thing, this is supposed to happen at the end of your turn as well. So 2 for your turn, and then 2 for my turn.
So the statue's pretty much healed itself.
Yeah, so we delve 5. So what delve means is from this deck we're trying to get through, we discard 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How many we got left?
About 2, 4, 6, 7 exactly.
That's it. 7 cards gets us to the big baddie.
And we flip the next one up, and that is the Parliament. It's a power of 8. It does have bold text, which is each time you roll the dark symbol, suffer a damage. So,
Okay, so don't roll the dark symbol while that bird is out.
Yep, exactly.
All right, in the chat, we've got Chris asking if we're going to ever give the beans to Stone Spire Architects.
We could.
Yeah, that's not a hard one to
Never
give the
played it
beans
in
to.
person, but yeah, we played it.
But you know
plenty
what?
on
It
BGA
doesn't
now.
stop the Board Game Hot Takes crew. They
Oh,
review
yeah.
games off of one play on BGA.
There you go. See, aesthetics would be hard to do just because.
They do talk aesthetics.
Yeah, I mean, you
which
could talk
weirds
art
me
and
out.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, you could talk art, but you didn't. If you haven't actually touched it and seen it on the table, I mean.
Can we put an asterisk on it, like a Sammy Sosa
I mean, you'd have
asterisk,
to, yeah, a little,
like
Sammy
a Barry
Sosa,
Bonds
little,
asterisk?
Little the juiced ball or the juiced bat. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Stone Spire Architects. We can do that. Probably
we
do
can
that
do
one soon.
Yeah.
I
Probably.
know we got to give the beans to something this month, so that might be one of them. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so we're back to my turn.
Back to you.
I have 2 cards. I've discarded these 2 cards for using them to boost Robert, and it leaves me with 1 card in my hand.
Card
It
left.
is a blue Mana Strike card, and there's a blue challenge out there. It also gives me a +1 for every light card that I have in my hand, but I don't have any.
Oh.
So it is just 2. This is just 2 damage to the bird, and it's going to cost us 2 wounds if we don't defeat it. We need a target of 8.
Let's see here. Just looking here. That's a blue, huh? I only have 2 cards that can boost a blue. One of them's because it's a white. I'm trying to let's see what the text does here.
Rob's got to decide if it's worth burning that card.
Yeah, I think I can give you a +1.
All right, so I got a +1 for Robert. I got a 2 for myself. So we're at 3 total on a target of 8. I'm certain I'm not going to defeat it because the dice can only give me a max of 4.
Yep.
Chucking dice. I've got 2
2.
added from the dice.
So we're at 2, 3, 4, 5.
So 5 total damage over to the
Parliament. Parliament.
All right. Problem is, I
Yeah.
rolled a darkness symbol. So here's some things. I rolled a darkness symbol while Parliament is out.
Nope.
Each time I roll a darkness symbol, we're going to take 1 damage. So it gets us down to 6. And then we did not defeat Parliament, which means we have to take the punishment, and the punishment is 2 wounds. That gets us down to 4. What was once a resource of 9.
We were just talking a couple rounds
5
before,
minutes ago.
Yeah, before we started
now
the show.
down to 4.
We were like at 9. And we're like, oh, hey, that's nice. No problem. Let's use that life as a resource.
You got to kill that bird.
Not feeling so great now, is it?
Got to kill that bird.
Okay.
And I'm out of cards. I'm all
are.
out. So I'm gonna have to do an exhaustion.
Yeah. Okay, we got to kill that bird. I've only got a 2, which is not feeling great right now. Because it's what 3, 4, 5. Well, that puts me at 7. Okay, well, that's not so bad. I'll play the 2. Tidal Force. It says discard at the start of any turn to redistribute progress between cards as you wish. So my character normally lets me move 1 progress. If I play this, I could discard another card to move. Discard this at the start of either one of our turns to redistribute any of the damage the way that I want. I'm wondering now, it's at 3, 4, 5, 6. I could move 1 damage, but I'd have to roll 2. No, I better take the sure thing, right? Yeah, okay. I only need to roll 1 success. You can't boost because you got no cards left. So
I got nothing for you.
I just need 1 blue. There we are. Got the 1 blue. I rolled the bad, but the bad does not trigger because the blue kills him first. So
Okay, blue kills him first, and the bad does not trigger. That's great news.
good news, little good news. So this is the reward for this one. We're going to delve 4. So
I think we're almost to the bottom of the well.
3, 4. There's only 2 cards left in the well. One thing I did not explain to you before, Carlos, is once we reveal this last card, if there are any open spots, as soon as we have 1 more open spot, all of these go away, and then we
replace him with his champions,
with
his guardians.
His guardians up there. Yep. So all we got to really do is beat potentially 2 more cards, or maybe even actually once we beat 1, we'll discard from the well. Yeah, beat 1 of these cards, and then we're to the big bad.
Let's go.
So this is gonna go up there. Yep. And this discards here, and now it is your turn. And
all right, so it's the start of my turn. I have no cards in my hand.
You have
nothing
to.
up my sleeve.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, because I have nothing, I have to take an exhaustion, and then I'm going to draw back up to 7. So Robert will handle the exhaustion up there. He's going to flip it. We're going to hope it's not something too terrible.
This is regretful. It says if discarded and traumatized are also in play, lose the game. So we have discarded up there, but not traumatized. So this is there's 6 exhaustion cards, and they're in 2 groups of 3. And if you get those 3 combination, you lose immediately. This one also says if Naz, neither one of us is playing Naz.
No, neither one of us is playing Naz.
Oh, no, I am actually.
Oh, are you Naz?
Yes, I am
I'm
Naz.
Fen.
Naz the Wind Striker. So when this is out, if Naz plays Orcish Senses, which is one of my cards, and doesn't discard any traps, which are a keyword on one of these cards, then we lose the game. So if I use Orcish Senses, I've got to use it to get rid of a trap, or we lose.
All right, we got to remember that. See what I meant by there's a lot to remember. There's going to be a lot of card text that's active, but you have to actively remember that it's active. Yeah. Otherwise, you get those moments where you're like, oh, I forgot to activate to do the thing that said that the thing was supposed to happen. There's my 7 cards. I shuffled my deck and redrew up. And I also get to take an action.
Yep, you still take a full turn.
All right, so now if we can kill something, we can get to the baddie. I only have 1 red card of 2 and 1 red card of 3.
Well, that new card that came out was a 15, the Oubliette.
Yeah, I'm not going over there.
Oubliette. The value of each action is reduced by 1. So all of our cards now are reduced by, or the action is reduced by 1.
My card is reduced by 1?
Yes.
While that thing is alive?
The big number, yep.
Ay, Dios mío. Let's see here. All cards named Empty Priest. There are no Empty Priest. The statue heals itself. Yep. I guess the Trail of the Heart would be the easiest way to kill something this round.
It's a 7. It's the lowest number, but it's red. Do you have red?
I have a red of 2, which is now a 1.
Oh.
I have a red of 3, which is now a 2. I don't think I can kill it in one round.
I can boost by 2 if I play both of my cards, so I could make you a
3
4.
makes 5.
Or
No, I'll be at 2 plus your 2 makes 4.
So you need to roll 3 successes. Is it
Oh,
worth it?
yeah.
You can roll 3.
That's all we got, Robert.
You have any rerolls over there?
Let's see. My abilities, I can reroll cards if I discard a certain category of card, and I do have some.
2 of them.
Yep, so I have the ability to reroll. Let's go with it.
You want me to do it? All right, I'll put
You
both
in?
of mine in there. Yep.
I put mine in, you put your in. We're at 4 plus dice
Need 3.
and a reroll. I'm going to use that reroll.
Lots of blue.
So let's get rid of Midnight Jig. My guy's a bard.
Yes, he is.
He is a bard.
Yep.
His card is titled Midnight Jig, so I will discard Midnight Jig and reroll. And it's reroll all dice.
Yes, you got to reroll
I
them
can't
all.
keep. It's not like
No,
X-Wing.
Nope. Got to do it all.
And still nothing. So I got 1 damage, plus 2 makes 3, plus your 2 makes 5. 5 damage onto
the
the
5.
Trial of the Heart, which then says, because you did not defeat Trial of the Heart, if failed, discard your hand and attach this card to Scorn.
I forgot about
I
that.
should have read that.
Oh, yes, you should have. Well, this may end quickly then.
Wow.
Although, because he's discarded,
My whole hand.
yes, your hand's gone, but he's going to attach to Scorn.
Oh, we
And-
got to the bottom.
Yes, when he goes away, he is still going to do his thing. So that would delve us 7. We can't delve 7 because we only have 1 left. So these cards go away. And then his protectors come out. Well, first, let's reveal Scorn. So there's 3 different versions of Scorn. We don't know. It's done randomly. We got the high hit point value, the highest one, 25 hit points.
But no special abilities.
Yeah, typically there's the thing here is if you roll that symbol while you're fighting him, it does something
darkness
bad.
symbol?
But this one doesn't. It says if failed 3 times, lose the game.
So we have 3 attacks to
3
do 25 damage.
Attempts to beat him. Yep.
Now, what about the attached monster? I see that he does nothing with attached.
This version of Scorn does not. The other 2 cards do something for each attached. So,
Okay, so
yep.
he's got no
Yep,
attachments
so we
that
can
matter.
get rid of that.
All right, and that ends my turn. And we need to provide his protectors.
Oh, yes.
So now the protectors come out, and these are going to be 4 cards of 3 different colors, and we have to defeat each color in order to be able to attack Scorn with that color. Say it again. He's got 4 protectors, 3 different colors. We must defeat the 3 colors in order to be able to use that color to attack Scorn, because Scorn is colorless.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have his own color. So in other words, once I defeat the red colored protector, I can now use my red combat cards against Scorn.
Right.
But I'm all out of cards.
And I am too. So this is going to be bad. We're going to have to draw 2 of those final 3. And I think as soon as we do that, we're going to lose. But because that's going to complete one of the sets. But on my turn, we might lose on my turn. So on my turn, I can have no cards. So I am required to rest or fatigue us. And so I flip the next card. It is the Guilt Ridden. Is that part of this?
It'll tell
set?
you here, right?
Yes. If the Haunted and Estranged.
Estranged is out. Haunted is not.
Haunted is not.
We're not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
We're
Still
not dead
kicking.
yet.
So, and then if...
But it has a special ability?
Oh, yes. And then yours is Fen, right?
I'm
so
Fen.
This is your bad one. So if the darkness symbol is rolled on a die when Fen plays Haunted by the Past, lose the game.
All right. So there's now a lose the game trigger for Fen, and there's a lose the game trigger for Nas.
So I had 2 cards left in my draw deck, so I grabbed those 2, and then I will shuffle my discard pile and draw 5 more. You'll draw up to 7 total cards.
I will not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And then
I love the cards, man. They're
yeah,
gorgeous
they are. I don't know
artwork.
if you can see the shine on them. Yeah.
Gold embossed. Just beautiful artwork.
Yes.
And on the front side of the cards, the game does not take itself too seriously. For example, there's a card called Teamwork that my character Fen has, and it's him with pom-poms shaking them, and a ferret-looking thing also shaking pom-poms with him. So some of the cards are very deep, very dark, especially on the baddie side, but on the good guy side, it seemed like they're having fun. It's amusing.
I gotta see if there's any way I can have you draw some cards so that you don't have to fatigue or put a fatigue back. None of these has a reward.
Rob's looking at his hand
No.
to see if he's got any cards that allow him to return fatigue, or maybe allow me to even draw some cards so I can play something without having to draw an exhaustion card.
No, This is not going to be good.
Because at that point we would have once I go to play my turn, we would have drawn 5 out of the 6 exhaustion cards. Which the odds of not having a triple.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
I don't know math.
All right, I'll just do something because this is probably going to end. So I've got a 5. So I'll play the 5. I think against the 9. Let me just remind myself what the 9 does here. If you complete or discard this challenge, flip it over. Each time you put 1 or more progress on this challenge, suffer a damage. What are we at? We're at 4.
What's the name of the card?
Reprisal.
Reprisal. Each time you put progress on it, which is the damage that we do to it, it does wounds back to us.
Not playing that card. we that would kill us.
We're leaving reprisal alone.
Yeah, we got 4 life, and that would do 5 damage to us. So Duel of Honor. Let's see. This action cannot be boosted. Well, that's fine. You can't boost me anyway. So it's a 4. It's a green, so I can play it against either one of these 2 greens. Let's go against the 13 because this one actually doesn't allow us to attack.
He's going to use his Duel of Honor to attack the Implacable Combat Challenge, which has a target number of 13. He rolled Darkness, and it says when Darkness is rolled, every Seeker must discard 1 card at random.
There's no penalty for you not being able to discard. I have checked that before, but I do.
You've been here before?
Yes, I have to do discard.
Hello, Darkness, my old friend.
Exactly. I did get 1 success down there, so that's going to put 5 of the 13 that we need there.
Failure to destroy him in 1 round means we take a wound, so we're down to 3 wounds as a group.
Hey!
And then the darkness roll means you had to discard a card. I don't see any of the darkness triggers.
Looks like we're good. We're not so good, but
all right. So here I am. I'm out of cards. My only option is to draw up, which means we must take an exhaustion before I even spend time drawing cards. Robert,
this one is
flip that exhaustion.
If estranged,
haunted.
Yes, estranged is there, and guilt-ridden.
And guilt-ridden.
Yeah, there it is. Then you lose the game.
So because guilt-ridden is on the board and estranged is on the board, our new exhaustion card, Haunted, combines with all those 2 as the timer of the game to trigger the end of Kinfire Delve.
Got it.
Scorns.
We got to
Stockade.
got to see Scorn at least. We got to him.
We got there. Yeah. We were in a good spot. I don't think we were in a terrible spot.
Yeah, we were close.
All right, so initial impressions. Y'all get a little bonus.
Your first
here,
play, yeah.
After hours initial impression. I think I heard it said before, like this is like regicide.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Feels, and yes, but way better.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the feels of regicide, but for me, like this is way better. Once we play more and understand the deck.
Yeah.
Of each character. And then the combination of the different abilities of the baddies of the challenges really come together to give you a CCG kind of a feel to it, of trying to combo up card play, attack and resist, push and pull kind of a feeling. The boosting, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to get assistance from a buddy, because now it adds these decision points on my turn for Robert, where he's got to look at his cards and be like, is it worth the boost?
Yeah, usually the printed on main part of the card that I would use it on my turn for is usually better than the boost, but sometimes I need to give you that, but most of the time I need to give you that boost to try to one-shot one of the cards out there because so we don't take the penalty.
Yeah, because our cards on average attack for 2.
Yeah.
So like 1, 2, and 3 are the values I see that our cards attack for. These are not hard hitting attacks.
Yeah, there's a couple 4s and 5s, but they're rare. Yeah.
So you need those 2 boosts from a friend to really kind of get over the threshold on these 7, 8, and 9 value target numbers on the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to those big challenges of 10 and 13, and you're just gonna have to take time putting progress on there.
Yep.
The artwork is amazing.
Yeah.
I think I said it before. Like Robert was playing it out. And he was putting on 2 characters, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing that guy. I'm playing Fenn. I like this art. I like the way he's drawn.
Yeah.
Robert showed me his character is like a female half-orc.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got very much more like barbarian-style artwork, swinging, slashing swords. My guy is a bard, so there's a lot of music playing, a little bit of magic in there, some bolts. So very themey, very beautiful artwork on this game. The timer system, I like it. It kind of a clankish feeling. A ethnos feeling where you kind of know when it's going to end, but it's not guaranteed.
There could be some good luck or some bad luck. I mean, here we got 5 of the 6 out before we died, so
It's pretty good.
You could flip the wrong 3, and it could be done quick. So,
But the game itself doesn't take too long, so it
No.
doesn't take itself that serious. You can just re-rack and play again.
yep, hour at most.
Card feel is great,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Rob said it plays up to 2 to 4 players.
With 2 sets,
if
can
you
play
have
4.
2 sets.
Yep. You can solo it. It's actually 1 to 4 officially. It's 1, 2, or 4. Really, I don't think there is a 3-player version.
Right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. There is actually.
Oh, is it?
Yes, there is. The card, and you draw a different number of starting cards or your hand size cards depending on the number of players. But yeah, there's a 1, 2, 3, or 4. The 3 and 4 say a second version of the game is needed. So, and like I said, there's 3 versions of it. They are interchangeable, so you can take the heroes out of one. They call them heroes out of one. Put them against the bad guys in another. Mix it all up. It's I'm liking it so far. 6th play. Yeah.
The artwork of the baddies themselves, the challenges, feels like you're flipping through a monster manual. And what's great is that because this is not like Wizards of the Coast or Pathfinder, these aren't like really traditional monsters. You can kind of see the inspiration of where these monsters come from, but some of these are very fantastical.
Yeah.
So, example, the basilisk
Uh-huh.
is a giant like creature with a city on it. I mean, it's a cool, like it's one of those big monsters you would see in a monster manual to make you think like, whoa. And it gets a little dark and creepy with some of the cards, but then some of them are more light and fun. It's got a good balance. It doesn't take itself too serious. The Living Basilisk.
Bastille.
Or Bastille. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's
the
it.
Living Bastille. And I'll pull it up on my screen here. The Living Bastille has this creature with a giant face, but it's got a city on it, like a towers and walls. So you can imagine trying to fight that big of a beast of a creature. But what's cool is the theme that they put to it. The ability on the Bastille is if you attack the Bastille and don't defeat it in one round, you flip down all the other monsters, meaning you can only interact with the Bastille. So it's like once you get into the Bastille, you got to keep fighting the Bastille until the Bastille is dead.
Yep.
Then you can move on to other stuff, which makes sense because it's a city walking on a giant face.
Yep.
There you go. That was a lot.
I'm liking it.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
And that gets us to the end of the episode. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch is where you can
Discord.
find us. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Check out our Discord channel where you can talk to us about gaming. There's communities in there chatting about gaming all the time. If you have questions for us here on the channel, you can email us at beansanddice@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail. That's always an option anytime during the week between now and the next episode. If you watch this show and you leave a voicemail, we will play your voicemail and respond to your voicemails on the next episode.
Yep.
You can also call in live when the show is on Thursday nights from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. You don't even have to be watching to call in.
Yep.
You just call in, right? Anytime between 9:30 and 11 p.m. Eastern time, the phone lines will be open. Just dial in. See if you can get in and talk about board games. I'm one of your hosts. I've been Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And we're the Beans and Dice Podcast. We are a podcast about
How we game.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Now I'm going to go watch The Rookie. Bye,